Welcome to the Tuesday Club, an auspicious day in the weekly diary of every Arsenal fan, particularly the regulars of the Adams Arms, where we have our drinking club, virtual drinks, of course, nowadays. But welcome to the Adams Arms, welcome to the Guna channel, and welcome to all the regulars who make it what it is. I don't want to go on about this, but I do just want to start off by saying I want to send my best wishes and heartfelt sympathy to all of those who experienced the act of senseless violence. I think all of us can understand the joy of parades and those kind of events where so much fun and joy is suddenly and senselessly taken away by one act of mindless violence. And so I think if there is anything we can take out of that, it surely is that we learn just how precious life is. We learn that every moment that we cherish is important. You don't know when something crazy is going to happen like that. But I will also add that in the aftermath of events like that, it is the people who come together and show their love and support. And it doesn't matter if you're a Liverpool fan or an Arsenal fan, all of that is meaningless. But from the bottom of my heart, to anyone who was there, witnessed it, or is at the bedside of somebody recovering, and I wish you all a speedy recovery. But I don't want to make it about that, but I just feel like we're probably all thinking it, and I just wanted to say it on behalf of the Adams Arms. But welcome to football. Welcome to the end of football, the end of the season. There is a review coming. Lone Star Londoner says, hello, good afternoon. Howdy doody. Arsenal women, champions of Europe. Leave it to the women. Leave it to the women in a season of shadows and shade. The women did us proud. Absolutely wonderful performance. I did watch it. I didn't think I was going to. I don't watch a lot of the women's football. I'm not apologetic about it, but I am increasingly wondering why. It was so easy to be incredibly moved and proud of their performance. Only English team ever to win the Champions League, and to do it twice, and to do it as underdogs, and to do it against Barcelona, and to do it. It was a great match. It wasn't a great match, but it was a great, surely everyone's happy now. Like all of the people going on about this season can be happy that we've got the silverware, all that matters. And I think what was beautiful about that match is it showed you there is more to football than just silverware. But when you come together and you fight together and you believe together that you can overcome the adversity. I mean, Barcelona, like, come on. I got 6-1 on the Arsenal women. Thank you, Arsenal women. Only an Arsenal woman can give birth to an Arsenal fan. I know it doesn't really work, but it's that line from the 300. I just love it. Miss Melina, good evening. Oh, hello. Hi, Lone Star, how are you? Good, how are you? You still in the USA? Champions of Europe. Our ladies, fearless and unstoppable. Sacking Jonas was the best thing ever this year. Have you invited comparisons with the men's game? Should we be thinking to do the same with Mikel Arteta? I don't really want to get into that, but Miss Melina, sacking Jonas was the best thing to happen. 2 right, says Lone Star. In Toronto, Canada, but travel to London are often for Arsenal men's, women's games. A real fan. Distance to travel. And Moss is here. Saskia Guna Gals. Great job. Red London trophy. Terrible to hear some Yahoo driving through people. It is awful. It's absolutely awful. Here we have, I'm still in Austin. Evening, landlord. I'll have a pint of National Morelos and a packet of tortillas, please. 'Tis the boring time of the year, football-wise. Not at all. How can you say that? We have the excitement of the transfer window to look forward to. And lest we forget, not only the transfer window, but the World Club Cup. I'm fooling nobody. I'm absolutely fooling nobody. Let me just I wanted to listen. Some of you will have watched it already. I know, Malia, you have, and thank you for your kind comment. Always appreciate the comments you guys leave on the videos. I did a little tribute. I know I'm not the biggest fan of the Arsenal, but I am now. I am now. But I just did this little video musical tribute to the Queens of Arsenal, and I'd like to play that for you now while I do some admin type stuff. Here we go. This is all my copyright, so I can't.
Under the lights they shine so bright, red and white warriors take the fight. In a season of shadows they bring the flame, the queens of Europe changing the game. Leave it to the women to save the day, rising like stars in the Milky Way. Arsenal pride burning through the night, champions of Europe, hearts ignite.
Let's see those whistles. I mean, it's been a while since I've raised. Come on, you Arsenal. Available in all good stockists. Do they still do record shops? I don't think so. But anyway, so that was a little tribute to it's all available. You can go and look at that at your own time. I think some really interesting emails on that one about, which of the Arsenal women are most attractive. Like, they're all beautiful. They won the Champions League. Enough said. Galvo says, well said. Thank you, Galvo. I appreciate you, and I'm glad you're here. I love it there in Texas. I lived in SA. San Antonio for 6 months before COVID started. It was awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome when you're part of a team. And you are a team here at the Adams Arms. Glass of Jordan Red for me, please. Oh, very cool. Just down the road. Yeah. Look at this. I'm reading out the chat again. I always say, oh, Red A changed her career and life. It was a great. I mean, obviously I'm not watching enough women's football. I've learned that, to my horror. I must watch more women's football. But even I knew that the bringing in a new manager was a good idea. King Chucky, well done. Throne speech this morning. Canada had the king in house. I know, King Chucky. Don't call him that. Otherwise, we will abandon you to the United States. His Royal Highness, the King of Chucky, I will accept. I did just see with amusement that he is in Canada, effectively scent marking Canada against the approaches of Donald Trump. And you're all feeling good about it, I hope. I'm not sure who I would rather be governed by, but I suppose King Charles is far less likely to start the Third World War. So let's say him then. Collis is here. Evening all. A pint of Brady Bitter, please, and a packet of Parlour peanuts. Perfect. With the dog part of the celebration. Win the dog part of the celebrations. Yes. And Ronaldo wanting to join someone since Messi in the tourney. Yes, I suppose he is into Miami, right? World Club Cup. I'd rather watch an Egg and Spirit. I am going to watch it. We're going to watch it. I'm going to do watch-alongs. Some of the games are at silly o'clock. Maybe I'll do those ones. Queen Camilla was with Chucky, of course. She never leaves his side. Attentive, as ever, to the Royal Highness's requirements. Lone Star Londoner, just for you. An egg and a spoon. Lol. Jamaica 3-2 against Trinidad and Tobago at the G-Tech today. Whenever I watch Caribbean football, I always find it quite boring. Sorry. Soz. Just how it is. Let's ask you, do you want to keep them there? You already? Do you want to? Yes, please don't feel like you have to send them back. Yo, Malia, what's up? Sizable elevations to you, Malia. Sizable elevations. Ronaldo, Al Nasser, and Al Ahly may sign to play in the World Club Cup. This is a crooked thing, isn't it? Like it's just the. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could get into it. I want to get into it close to the time, but the Saudi government giving Dazen, I don't know how you pronounce that, channel. Nobody wanted to show the World Club Cup. No one gives a damn about it. Let's be honest. Salzburg are in it. I don't think they're going to win it. Man City going to win it? Could that be said to salvage their season? What about Chelsea winning it? Could they do the Conference League World Club double? The qualification for it is all a bit convoluted. I appreciate Arsenal. We're not going to be in it, but what is this World Club Cup you speak of? What is the point of it? It's just football. I like it because a lot of these teams aren't going to get a break. So you've got the Man City players going straight into it. Chelsea, I mean, I know Chelsea got a big enough squad. I wonder if they'll have their own World Club Cup squad. Anyway, they're already on their way back chucking. No, keep them a bit longer. We were having a party. DAZN. Is that what it is? DAZN. Because I have now signed up, but it looks like DAZN. What is this DAZN? Kind of foolishness is that? And company Bayern in it. Bayern are in it. PSG Euro World double. I hope so. I don't know who I want to win that. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the Fluminense. I'm looking forward to seeing in that. Some good games. Surely there'll be some good games. Surely we'll have plenty to amuse us. I'm going to post of the link soon. Please do feel to join me if you're feeling to join me. But without further ado, I know I've talked about the women winning. I've talked about touched on my sentiments, passing on my best wishes to those involved in yesterday's horrifying I don't know what to call it, like the horrifying violence visited on Liverpool supporters. As a club, they have had far too much to deal with. But look, it's a silly season coming up. Transfer window soon to blow open. And today you could not move. I know we already covered this last week. I was already quick to point out that this is done and dusted. Done and dusted. Gyökeres, done and dusted. He's definitely coming to Arsenal. I wanted to get your opinions on some things, guys, because I've been watching more and more Šeško, and I've been more and more inclined to think he's probably the right player for us. However, it looks like Gyökeres. I don't know. I don't know why it can't be both. Why can't it be both? Why can't we go and sign? Gyökeres and Šeško? I think a lot of us feel that Šeško has a higher ceiling. But with Viktor Gyökeres apparently now a firm bid going in, I'll go through this with you from the news. He just kind of, the only thing that could scupper this, is that when he was interviewed after the Portuguese Cup on Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember now. I enjoyed a very good weekend of just chilling out, and the days just melted into each other. But he was interviewed and asked where he's going. He said, it's football, you never know, but I'm a sporting player. And then his girlfriend, who's an influencer. Am I an influencer? How do you get to be an influencer? How many people do you have to influence to be an influencer? Don't know. But like I said done and dusted. I know a few of you, Zanzi, you're promoting the whole done and dusted. I'm sticking with done and dusted, but I appreciate that there is a similarity in my name. Lone Star saying he's not convinced on Gyökeres, and I'm going to cover that now. I've done a list of pros. Like when you don't really know. I don't know, right? I don't know if I like Gyökeres. And there are some pros and cons. I'm going to go through the pros and cons. I want to hear from you. But I think most of all this comes down to the eye test, right? So first question, first pro. I'm going to deal with a pro and then I'll put a con. And I've got 4 of each. First, he's a proven goal scorer. 53 goals, 50 games, goal every, whatever that makes it, 80-something minutes. Absolutely outstanding goal-scoring record in Portugal. But those of you who have spent some time delving around the stats of transfers will, I'm sure, be familiar with what we call the league strength multiplier, which is a way that at the highest level, people try to work out how many goals in Portugal, how many 50 goals in Portugal be worth in the Premier League. And the league strength multiplier is different for different leagues. So obviously, the difference between the Premier League and the Bundesliga in Germany is not as great as the difference between Portugal and England. And we know for a fact that like people like Darwin Núñez, who scored pretty prolifically in Portugal, didn't necessarily translate that to England. But there's so many other things involved. I'm not trying to be oversimplistic. I'm not saying, but the coefficient that is used, the league strength multiplier, which is often used for Portugal, is somewhere between 0.6 and 0.7, which means if you took Victor Gyökeres, and I think it's funny that we all know how to say his name now, but Victor Gyökeres' goals, and you put them through the league strength multiplier, it comes out to somewhere between, if you're going for 60%, 23.4 goals or 27 goals. So it'd still be adding over 20 goals a season in the Premier League, all being well. He's in the peak of fitness. He's a proven goal scorer. So my first question in the con section, it's a question, it's not a con. Why aren't there more teams interested in him? Why are there not more teams after him? Why is it could be because he's already decided Arsenal, he's told everyone, but certainly doesn't feel that conclusive, doesn't feel that done and dusted, although as we've already established, it is done and dusted. So that's my first question. Are you worried that Chelsea aren't making more? I mean, Man United were in for him, but bless them. He's hardly likely to go to Man United and in hopes that he can achieve the incredible feat of getting them somewhere near the top half of the table again. I mean, like Wolves don't go in for players like this. And where are Man United getting the money from, by the way? Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. Danny Dusty could be WWE and stay the name. I think I'd just be Dan. I'd just be Gunnar Dan. Fuck it. I don't really get WWE. I know there's a lot of you in here who love it. Not critical of it, just don't understand it. Dusted Dana, I feel like your mind's going there. You just influenced me. You in? Oh, I am an influencer at last. Do I have to get my baps out? Has to be Šeško, or we aren't going to win the things like everyone wants. Boy, Dio, good to see you. I'm more worried. Do you know what I am? I have no way of knowing if that's right or not. I would suggest that Šeško is a risk. I know I love him, but if you apply the same multiplier, in Germany, the multiplier is different. It's about 0.85. So German goals are worth 0.85 in the Premier League. And if you do that, then Šeško finishes under 10. And what we don't need at Arsenal is another season where we don't have a single player in double digits. I know we've had injuries, people. Don't need to give me the reasons. We have had an extensive list of injuries, but to end the season for the first time in over 100 years with no one in double digits, it's not quite good enough, is it? Just a quick rattle through. I actually did this. 11 players were out for over a month at one point, and some considerably more. Ben White, Gabriel, Marino. I mean, Marino, if something could be defined as an Arsenal injury, it's arriving and having your arm broken by Gabriel in training. We're training too hard, people. That's definitely true in Marino's case. Odegaard, that first international window, never really came back the same, did he? But cracking winner against Southampton, a great shot against Liverpool. Are we starting to see a resurgence in Odegaard? It's a bit late, but, great to think if he could start next season like that. Tierney. I salute you, Tierney. Kieran Tierney, you go with our love. I don't think there's a single Arsenal fan that's got a bad word to say about Kieran Tierney. What a beautiful moment for him to score. Apparently, he said he was going to score and did. I love him. I'm surprised that there isn't room for him in our squad just because of his character, his personality, his work rate. Hearing Arteta say really nice things about him as well is a bit weird, isn't it? Because maybe that's the problem. Maybe Arteta liked Kieran Tierney too much. They just wanted to sit next to him on the bench the whole time. Portugal. Oh, wallop. I don't know what that means, but I liked it. Oh, Hawkwind. Hello. I can't read hand. We'll need to get. Hang on. My apologies. Let me get this done. I'll get send a link. Hopefully we can get you on here. We need the theme music. Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. Name the bottom half of clubs in Portuguese Primeira League. I can name about 5. I don't watch Primeira League. I don't even know if it's called that. Moss, I couldn't agree more with you. It's just, I'm not trying to be disparaging. I don't watch Portuguese football. I have no interest in it. I'd have Šeško, looks like a freakish athlete, and I think he'd suit how we play. I have a feeling he could explode. It is just a feeling. I feel like it is just a feeling. We can't go with more than that. The stats are good. He is a great player. I like him a great deal. I don't know why we can't buy both. I think he could be a slow burn. It'd be nice to have him in the team to build towards something and bring Gyökeres in now for the instant hit. I think if you were a manager who was worried that your time was coming to an end, if you were convinced that, if you didn't win something this season coming, that you might lose your job, then I think you would probably go for Gyökeres over the prospect, who is Šeško. Missing Rosie. Yes, I did speak to Rosie a little bit earlier, and hopefully she will make an appearance. Jonathan David, better, I'm thinking. Jonathan David, isn't he off to Napoli? Isn't that a done deal? Am I making that up? I thought it was Napoli. Could be Inter. Could be. He's definitely going to a club that's prepared to pay his wages. Where did Cristiano Ronaldo come from? Portugal. He was pretty good. Yeah, he was at Sporting, but he wasn't sensational. I mean, he was always being sold to Man United, and Man United went on a pre-season friendly, and the players all insisted to Alex Ferguson in a few of their autobiographies and biographies. So he was a sensational young player, but he, I don't think he was prolific in Portugal. And I'm not saying Bernardo Silva's Portuguese. We've had great players. Bruno Fernandes, great player, Portuguese. I'm not saying that Portuguese players don't play well. I'm just saying that. All right, let me go through my list, and then I will welcome your opinions. Another pro to Victor Gyökeres, whatever you think of the Portuguese league, he does play up front alongside Alexander Isak for Sweden, where he is significantly more prolific. It might just be the way they play, but come on. Like, his goal-scoring record for Sweden is miles better than Alexander Isak's, and Isak's apparently worth 150 million, and I'd probably be tempted at Isak. So surely at the roughly 70 million we're talking about, and I think that's euros, at the roughly, but even if it's pounds, 70 million pounds for a proven goal scorer at international level seems cheap, doesn't it? Missing my buddy, Mr. Bungle. Yes, thoughts still go out to you on that one. JD and Šeško. Jonathan David and Šeško. It's too much risk. I don't know. I would quite like to see it, but I don't know. Awkward guitar intro. We need Zanzi here for that. And would you believe it? What is that, Zanzi? What you got there?
It's more sleeping Mexican because it's the boring time of the season.
It's not a boring time of the season. They've got the World Club Cup.
Yeah.
We've got the transfers. It's the most fun. I think there are fans out there, genuinely I honestly believe there are fans out there who prefer transfers to the actual games. Listening to people talk about it as well, it's so silly. It's like, you would never think that there were teams of lawyers and people involved in transfers, the way people go on about it. Just go and get Gyökeres. It's like, yep, we're going to do that. I have just now given 2 pros. He's a proven goal scorer, better international record than Isak. So I'm going to go with another con. Why? He wasn't great at Coventry, was he? Why wasn't he better in the UK? Why didn't Gyökeres do better in the UK?
Can I just say that the Coventry fans absolutely fucking loved him?
Right, but what's your point?
Well, no, I'm just saying that the Coventry fans really loved him.
Do you know who they love currently?
Nope.
No, neither do I. That's my point. I have no idea who the Coventry fans love. Could be a guy called Dan, and he looks exactly like me. I'm misleading you. I know it's not me, but like, who the Coventry fans love isn't. We don't go signing players. They have to go to Portugal before we'll consider signing them, and I just think I'm not convinced. He was crap for Brighton. Didn't score for Brighton. Here we go. Boy Tendio. Gyökeres simply doesn't pass the eye test. He can score, but as a footballer, he's not all that convincing. Meanwhile, I think we can all agree Šeško does pass the eye test and is convincing. He's a great athletic, powerful, great with a ball at his feet, good shot on him. Am I talking myself out of Gyökeres at the very time where it appears we have made a formal offer? Although it's very difficult to get any accuracy in the transfer window. So I'm going to go with another positive. It sort of comes out of the negative I just gave, which is how I roll. Please don't get your baps out, says Fandabi Rosie. I'm an influencer. I will get my baps out. OnlyFans. Get in.
If you've got to get your baps out, you have to lower the camera a bit.
To my knees. Yeah. So, okay, why wasn't Gyökeres better in the UK? But he has played in the UK. So he knows the lifestyle. He knows everything. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, something happened. My apologies. So surely, Baps. Oh, I love that. Moss, do you not use the term Baps? Norks. Fun bags. I mean, come on. It's fairly obvious from context what I was talking about. Get my Baps out. Come on. Come on. Come on. Is it so cold in Canada that people never derobe? Is that what it is? Hope everyone's well indeed. Very much hope everyone's well. So Šeško will get 17 his first season. That's a bold prediction, boy Tendio. I'm not sure, you know. Why didn't he get his 17 his first season with RB or his second season with RB? Don't know. I think he's gonna be good in a couple of years' time. And I hope we don't kick ourselves we didn't sign him. But I don't know why we're not signing both of them. Neither of them. I mean, we get both of them for the price of Isak, and we do need 2 forwards, no?
I think we're going to get Šeško anyway. I've been saying this since.
Are you ready to give it the old done and dusted?
Done and dusted, yeah.
It's not done and dusted. Come on.
It is if you're in London. Oh, it's all done and dusted,
Dan
isn't
and
it?
dusted. It's like that song that everyone used to think, your name's not Dan, you're not coming in. And it'd be like, no, it's just how we say down. Sorry. I'm going to go get some gardening in and walk Mario before the NBA and NHL playoffs. The acronyms are all fighting. I mean, they should play together, shouldn't they? NBA and the NHL. That would be a game. I'd watch that. Great to see you, Moss. Thanks for coming. Nice finish, Captain Odegaard, for the 3 points, 10 points behind Liverpool. I am doing a video. Do you know what's some really interesting? I'm doing an end of season autopsy. Where did it all go wrong? And I think the truth will surprise many out there. Or sorry, the truth is out there and it will surprise many. There is a single contributing reason. Had we not done this one thing, I think we would have won the league. It's as simple as that, you know.
No,
it's not even that. Like, and please don't add your voice to the clamour of people who are calling consistently for a striker, because we all know we need a striker. Like, how often can we all say the same thing before someone goes, there's no point saying that anymore? It's like it's like when people are rabidly anti-Arteta and keep saying, Arteta out. It's like, imagine I've heard you and I've processed it and there's nothing I can do to help you. Adios, Tierney. Good lad. Just couldn't stay fit for long periods. There is a thing I always find amusing about Kieran Tierney where people go, my baller, he's the best left back in the world and all that. And you go, why didn't he play for Sociedad then? Like, they weren't picking him. I don't know. I think Kieran Tierney's going to do well at Celtic. I think he's been a great servant to Arsenal. I'm glad he played for Arsenal. I wish he'd won more. But great character. Always welcome in North London.
I actually thought at one stage he was going to be our captain.
I did. I wanted him to be very much. I couldn't believe it. There was the whole discussion around, you know, who's in the leadership team. We've had some. I mean, Aubameyang should never have been captain. Do you know, it's interesting. I saw a poll. I think I'll find it on one of the Arsenal channels where lots of people vote, and I mean it was a very big poll. And the question asked was, here we go. Do you think Declan Rice will captain Arsenal one day? And 21,000 people voted. 92% of them said yes. There is something about, they can't all be wrong, right? Like, we're all looking at it saying he seems like a natural choice. What that means for Odegaard, I couldn't tell you. I'm very, very much hopeful and hoping that Odegaard will come back next season stronger and better than ever.
Rice had the captain's armband for our game against Southampton. And when Odegaard came on, he gave it over.
Well, I loved what Rice said in the when he was interviewed and asked about the captain's armband. He said no, and he made a stirring, resonantly stirring speech in favour of Odegaard being captain, which I think is so captain-like. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just adds to the feeling I have that he would make a great captain. I don't know. I've said it a few times now. At risk of repeating myself and boring you all, which is the last thing I'd want to do. Put the armband in a room, lock the players in there, and see who's wearing it when you unlock the door, and that's how you know who the captain is. The Thunderdome. So Gyökeres, lies, damn lies, and statistics. Do you know what? I love that. When people talk about Gyökeres, it's always the same thing, isn't it? Would you please join me in welcoming in Gary? Look at that beautiful smile. How good to see you, sir.
Hello, Dan.
How are you?
Oh, Zanzi, is that right?
He's changed his avatar.
I know. I was just
he's
saying.
had more rebrands than Prince. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly,
what's up with that one? What is that? I don't even know what's going on in there.
I don't know, but
sleeping Mexican because the football season's over.
Sleeping Mexican because football season's over.
It's probably best not to ask any questions, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of them. It's like, I don't want to, you know, decommissioned. Yeah, so we're going through some of this. You can't point to one player as an example. Oh, De Bruyne is off to Napoli. I saw this. Would have quite liked us to sign De Bruyne, if I'm honest. I would have quite liked to see that. I haven't gone all the way through yet with my pros and cons. So I'm going to do that. Look, now they're both just spinning discs. I'm the only one, you know. Available for a good price. Gyökeres is available for a good price. It's not a bad price, is it? 70 million. Wallop. Have a whip round. Job done. Jobs are good. And bish, bash, bosh. If it doesn't work out, resale value is going to be 50 million, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, we're looking at getting 50 million for Martinelli. It hasn't worked out but, you know, Gyökeres, 26 years old. That's a cheap price. That goes for him. But the other con, because I'm balanced and I'm offering balance, is why is it taking him so long to get good at football? Is that normal? 26. He didn't do shit at Brighton.
People develop at different times, though, don't they?
Yeah, and I want one that all right, but why? Why was he not? Why? Where's this killer instinct come from now that he's playing at Sporting? I don't know.
Maybe he was just too lightweight when he was at Brighton.
He wasn't lightweight. He's always been a lump. He's always been a lump. I mean, he's not like he hasn't bulked up or anything. He hasn't Havertzed up. I did find that funny when I'm going Havertz. I was expecting to see the Hulk coming out, bursting through his shirt, and it just looked a tiny bit more buff. But fair enough. Like the way that Tom Canton asked you weren't wrong about Havertz, boss. He looks much bigger, boss, doesn't he, boss? He's so big. Yes, he's very much. Shut up, all of you. I don't care how big he is. I want to see him get his head on things. Siesta. One too many tortillas. You can't have too many tortillas. That's ridiculous. Brighton didn't like Gyökeres, and Gyökeres didn't like Brighton. Coventry. If you're going to just do one word, do Coventry. Or Frank. What's going on, guys? Have we just given up typing? Is everyone having a siesta? That's like saying Blackpool fans love Patino. They don't. They did. Then they went off him in one season. That's the harsh thing about Charlie Patino. I'm pretty sure Deportivo La Coruña fans don't sing songs about him. Thoughts? go out to all Liverpool fans at the parade, in particular those injured. For me, it would just put me back to all those parades that we had when Arsenal were winning things, and I just think I can't imagine what it would be like, that joyous moment, that drunken revelry, surrounded by people, flags, children. It's such a family day out, and for it to be ruined in a moment like that, just so. It doesn't need me to say it, but there are things where you just think football is not important. Of course, our hearts go out to them. Gyökeres was crap against us this season. Yeah, he didn't get past Jakob Kivior, did he?
I don't think he played against Kivior. I thought we had our starting center backs in that game.
No, he did. It wasn't. I can tell you,
it wasn't our starting center back.
No, it wasn't.
He hit the post though, didn't he?
He looked really strong.
Oh, sorry, he hit the post when Kivior came on. Beg your pardon. That's right.
Okay, all right. So I thought we shut him down, but then when he got a chance to take advantage, he definitely took advantage. So, yeah.
But he didn't score.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, we are a good team, right?
Good defensive team.
I'll tell you this. Do you remember? I don't know. You remember Michael Jordan and Tony Kukoc?
Michael Jordan and what?
Tony Kukoc.
No, you could have made that name up.
Yeah, the U.S. team is playing wherever Kukoc is from. I forget which team it is, but they said he was like the best player. He was like the Michael Jordan of their country, basically. Michael Jordan said, "I'll guard you." Shut him down.
Yeah.
Didn't score a lick. The next year, the Bulls traded for him. Brought him in.
I get it. You know what? I totally get, that would make sense to me if I'm Victor Gyökeres and going, I'm not signing for anyone but Arsenal because I don't want to be playing them twice a season. But does that mean that we want him? I don't remember. He didn't play well. He didn't play well against us. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was Gabriel went off injured, and he went off in the late in the 80th minute, and it wasn't until Kivior came on. But he did nothing against Saliba and Gabriel. Yeah. And Erling Haaland does do things against. I don't know. Listen, I'm just not.
Erling Haaland. If you remember, in the first time we played City this year, Erling Haaland was getting beat up by Gabriel. Remember?
I do remember in the
things, and it wasn't working.
First time we played City this season, he scored in 9 minutes.
Yeah,
he scored a beautiful, well-taken goal in 9 minutes against us.
That was the Calafiori.
That was the Trossard getting sent off.
No, Calafiori got beat. Got tore to shreds. And
Calafiori. That's right. Calafiori lost the ball high up in the defensive left.
He got turned, and
that's right.
I mean, you put a ball into him like that. That's like many of the goals we give up, right? They seem to be in those areas of the pitch where they just they turn on us, and the counter happens too fast for us to catch up defensively, and we get beat.
Yeah, we lose. Yeah, there are a couple of. I was looking. I'm doing an autopsy of the season, so I'm looking game by game. And it's funny how you forget. But at the start of the season, obviously we were hoping for big things, even though we hadn't had a good transfer window. But it was a little bit lackluster. We were not looking good. There was a couple of moments where Saliba just was giving the ball away in dangerous positions. We got a let off against Wolves where Cunha got the ball and just kicked it straight to Raya. There was that incredible double save by Raya in the game against Villa where Ollie Watkins had the shot that he dived to the floor and then dived up and the header goes straight at him. But, it's not been a good season. I don't think anyone thinks it has. Leipzig aren't as good as us. No one's as good as us. We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Is that a trick question? You're trying to catch me out, boy, Tendio. Don't even go there, mate. Of course Leipzig aren't as good as us. Leipzig are 7th in the Bundesliga. It's been a terrible season. What's fascinating is that Šeško, they need to sell. They need to sell. So I think there's some really interesting work going on here. I know Andrea Berta has been in the papers as somebody who likes to use the press to manipulate transfer situations. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of this sudden interest in Gyökeres was a way of getting the price lowered on Šeško, or if we're doing some negotiating. I think my gut is telling me I want Šeško, but my head is telling me we'll probably get Gyökeres. But Leipzig aren't as good as us. Seems a comment that came out of nowhere. I don't know if I was ever implying Leipzig are better than us. Must have been Gary. Gary, don't do that. Like, come on.
Sorry.
Zanzi's asleep. He'll wake up Zanzi. I love this, Rosie. You absolute ledge. Dan, you say Sheshko correctly, but it does sound like Sean Connery. Yes. I like the Sheshko kid. Miss Moneypenny. Everybody's favourite wife beater. How many goals would Havertz score for Leipzig? Would he hit double digits? It's difficult because, I mean, for a start, Leipzig play with usually play with two strikers, right? So it's, there aren't as many options. I don't know. Yes, I think Havertz would be in double digits if he hadn't missed 3 months for us, honestly. So yeah, I do think Havertz is a good player, and now that he is the size of a man mountain, he can only improve.
That's the scary part about that whole thing, is Arteta believes what he said.
Arteta is, love him or hate him, and I feel like we've all had that conversation. But love him or hate him, I think I saw you saying this on the online today. Was it yesterday? I can't remember when I was watching you. And you were saying, don't watch his press conference anymore because he's just full of shit. And
he lies to us all the damn time.
He does. It is basically like we're in a war. It's like having Churchill come out and go, this war's going to shit. We're getting fucked. The Germans are winning. You wouldn't expect it. You don't want it. Arteta, he's overdoing the mind games and the bollocks. I love Carlo Ancelotti because he's that age now. He goes, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, okay. You're the best team ever. I don't give a shit. Like Arteta's still young and kind of, they hang on to my every word. If I say Šeško's, but it isn't like that. I don't think Pep's, I think Arteta, that's one of the things, watching his press conferences is truly tedious because although I will say I found it very revealing. If you sift through enough of it, he said, not in the last one, but the one before Southampton, if we don't win silverware this season, it's going to be difficult. I think he is acknowledging that the pressure is on him.
He does lie a lot, but he has been essentially saying things that I never thought he would ever say. Like he wouldn't be out there saying, I need a striker. I never thought he would be able to be out there, like, putting if that's dirty laundry, putting it out there for everybody to see. And then like his players would also be saying the same thing. So, it's coming from the top down. It's not coming from them up. You know what I mean? So
I do, like, I know we've talked about it, I do find it funny how people just want everything to be so simple. Yeah. Like the reason that Josh Kroenke and Edu and everybody wasn't allowed to get strikers because Arteta said so. It's like, really? I don't know why anyone thinks that a massive club worth 3 billion quid would operate that. James Ellis, I know you're head of recruitment, but we don't need you and your staff of 30 scouts and the entire stat DNA company. All of you can fuck off. Arteta doesn't want a striker. I was talking to my best mate yesterday, and it was like, it's like someone goes, oh, my wife doesn't want a Ferrari. Like what manager doesn't want a great striker? Like, honestly, like can I really see a world in which Edu said to Arteta, look, I've spoken to Josh, I've spoken to Richard, and we think we can stump up the money to bring you Victor Osimhen, and Arteta, don't you dare. A delicate balance of my team. I don't want a goal scorer, proven goal scorer, one shot, one goal wonder. I don't want that. Fuck up my entire style of play. No. You keep your strikers away from me. It just doesn't make sense, does it? The Millet, good to see you. Jeff Blockley was the last player Arsenal got from Coventry. At least I think you meant to say player. Plater seems weird. June 16th is cremation for Mr. Bungle. Arthur Brown. He wants fire by Arthur Brown.
I was just going to say that the plan is always a striker comes after a goalkeeper and anybody in the back line, and then maybe a midfielder.
Then another midfielder.
And then maybe then we'll consider a striker.
Yeah. I mean,
he's been here for 5 years, and I think we've had 5 strikers at least.
No, in the time Arteta's been there?
Yeah.
We've signed Gabby Jesus.
No, not striker. Sorry, goalkeeper. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, goalkeepers we've had. To go through it, we had Leno. Well, he lost Martinez, obviously let go, and there's all the talk now about he might come back. Get vindictive fuck. That's the last thing I want. I've just spent the last 4 years cursing him. No, fuck off.
I actually
No.
thought he was a good goalkeeper. I actually liked Matty Ryan just as well, because he looked really good when he came in and played for us, you know. And the fact that, you know, he wasn't what Arteta wanted, but Raya was, I don't know. I mean, they both.
Well, Raya's worked out. I don't think you can
Yeah.
argue he hasn't. 2 Golden Gloves in a row, and now Barcelona and
Leno has a Golden Glove too, so that doesn't just coming to Arsenal sounds like that's just kind of like par for the course, right? Ramsdale, one of our other goalkeepers was like, you know,
David Seaman, but like, you know, Golden Gloves. I'd have to look it up. Zanzi, if you could stir yourself to go and find out who the previous Golden Gloves winner were. I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't have the stats.
I thought it was because I know we had the best. We had a top defense when Ramsdale was here. Whether or not, maybe he didn't have the Golden Glove, but I thought he did.
I like Raya better than Ramsdale.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
Yeah.
I don't miss Ramsdale, and I won't be watching him next season.
Where do you think it will be?
I think he'll be at Southampton, mate.
Mm.
No captain should show up late in a Lambo. I think showing up late in a Lambo is pretty bad, but if he showed up late in a Fiat Punto, that would have been worse. Or would it? Or would you be able to go, no, that makes sense, actually. Get a proper car. What the fuck is wrong with you? But no, Lone Star, you make an excellent point. Like, what the fuck are you doing buying a supercar that can't get you to the North London Derby on time? Get me to the Derby on time.
It's called London traffic. Like it's called New York traffic. Like
don't even get me started on London traffic, Gary. The worms in the can. Leave them there. All right. 42 years I lived in London. Do you know that the average speed of traffic in London is slower now than it was when there were horses and carts on the road? The average speed of traffic in London has crawled to 8 miles an hour. I remember, look, you've started me. Don't get me started.
All right, let's move on.
Gabriel is my
next
captain.
Next subject.
Next subject. Yeah. Gabriel is my captain. Oh, captain, my captain. Exactly. I don't think we get to do that, though, do we? Still got next season. They might be doing this thing where they say only the captains can talk to the referees. On that basis, maybe Odegaard is the right one.
I don't think so, because we won't get anything. I need somebody's going to actually talk to the referee and go, no. Wait a second. Because when something negative happens to us, he don't want to go over there. He doesn't want to go over there and talk to the referee and tell him, like, you might be doing a bad job today.
It's hard to disagree with you if you're going to be right. Like, you know what I mean?
Think about it. He won't do that. Like, at some point, you need somebody to go over to the referee and say, look, Saka has got booted 10 times. Do you mind maybe protecting my player for me, please? Maybe.
It's, you know what? You know, I think Odegaard would get a lot more love from me if he did just occasionally look upset or angry and wasn't always playing with his hair. It's just infuriating. I'm like,
he said he played well without the beard, so maybe the beard is his
beard.
I think
you know what? I hate to say, Arteta. What we were talking about earlier, you have to sift through a lot of his nonsense to get to some. There was something really interesting in the way he was talking about players going through personal. You don't know what's going to happen this season. Mm-hmm. I hate to think, but I was suddenly running through negative scenarios in my head. He's a recent father, and you know when something's not quite right. Like if the health of I remember Gary Lineker's baby boy had leukemia, and it just makes everything else insignificant. You know, like being a father, it's gonna. I hope to God, I'm just speculating, but I'm just putting it out there because what Odegaard's dip in form. I know that Moss has been defensive of him in the past, and I think that as Arsenal fans, it's absolutely okay for us to say I love him. He's my captain. Great player, glad he's at the club, but he's not playing as well as I'm used to him playing. That's okay. It's like it's all right for me to say Martinelli hasn't worked out. You know, love him. I wish him well. I'll buy him a drink anytime I see him in North London. But like that, I don't necessarily want to play someone just because they're a nice fella. But Arteta said, you know, you never know what people are going to go through. What's happening in the dressing room. All you can do is prepare as well as possible. On that, though, we clearly did not prepare our squad as well as possible in the summer transfer window because we didn't make any contingencies at all. We didn't sign anybody, you know, like another left back. Yay! we are at a stage.
I just feel like at some point you have to trust the players you decided to keep or the players that you brought into the squad and find maybe an answer with them as opposed to, you know what, I'm not even going to try to find an answer with them. Like for me, if Erdogan is struggling a little bit and Nweri can play that position as well, at some point maybe you take a little bit of the load off of Erdogan and you bring in Nweri and let him play that position for a bit and see if that helps, right? Because either it'll trigger something in Erdogan and get him playing better, or it'll just be the answer when things aren't working. You know, either way, you're not going to lose anything because we weren't getting anything from him anyways. It wasn't like, well, you know what, you take him out, eventually he'll score. It's like, no, that we're not even getting that, right? Like there'd be games where you're like, Zach is poor for 60 minutes, but you're like, you know what, just give him 5 minutes. Maybe like same thing with Pepe. You know, if you play Pepe for 90 minutes, he will get a shot off or make that pass, right? The trick is you didn't want to play him for 90 minutes. But same thing with Erdogan. He wasn't playing well, and we never wanted to make that change. So we just sat there and just muddled through and hoped it would work out around him, you know?
Yeah.
So
no, I think there's that, you know, that's when like I said, I'm currently compiling the forensic autopsy of our season to figure out where the meaningful moments were, because it's a little bit like you watch a game with your eyes tell you one thing, you just want to go and look at the data and see if it supports what you've seen. And what I've seen is several occasions where our team were not up for it in a way that would have made a massive difference if we had been. But there is another really interesting thing that it was really shocking to me. But underpinning all that is the truth that Arteta still has progress to make in terms of when he does, like the thing that was really shocking that I've uncovered. We all know it, by the way, but it is a sign of Arteta's stubbornness, that it's obvious when something is obviously not working and he's going to do it again. And that is not acceptable as a strategist. You know, like if you're too wedded, we see this over and over again. We saw Vincent Kompany at Burnley. I'm going to play my way. You know, the managers that come in like Ruben Amorim, I've got a way I want to play. I'm not going to look at what resources I have at my disposal. I'm not going to look at what I could do. I'm going to try and fit square pegs into round holes. And if it doesn't work, it's not my fault. They're not good enough. And then you kind of think, well, the job of a manager is to look at what you've got. Our bench this season wasn't good enough, but I don't know if that wasn't predictable. If you're going to let Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Emil Smith-Rowe, Eddie Nketiah go, then bring in, Raheem Sterling. At some point, there's not as many options on your bench. If your bench just has Ethan Nwaneri on and you're not bringing him on, what point are you making? And there are so many times before Odegaard's injury, even when Odegaard was injured, where you're like, surely we got to give this kid a chance now. There were so many fans saying, let's give Nwaneri a chance. And he didn't really. And then he did. And it was a really pleasant surprise. Nwaneri's stats are outstanding this season. But then for some reason, and there's probably more to it than I understand, but then he stops doing it again. And Nwaneri stops playing again. And that's hard to take.
Did you want to know about the Golden Gloves?
Yes, please.
Right.
Imagine if I said no.
I said okay. Right. Arsenal have had more players as Golden Gloves winners with 3 players.
It'd be goalkeepers, though, won't it? It's always goalkeepers.
Yeah. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United all have 2. Right. Golden. Ooh.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, our golden goals. Right. Golden people. Right. This is rare this year, rare last year. The year before, 22-23, was De Gea. Believe it or not.
No, I do believe. I remember that now because they sold him to bring in Banter Club. Push the banter button.
Our last golden goalkeeper was Peter Cech, 2015-16.
Wow.
And then 2 years before that, it was Wojciechowski.
Oh, mate. Oh,
Yeah.
Wojciech Szczesny is outstanding at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, we could have had him on a free, I think, at the start of the season. I
I
love
know,
Wojciech.
yeah. It's him and Peter Cech shared the 2013-14.
He was, I thought, because he still counts as a homegrown player. Wojciech Szczesny would still have counted as a homegrown player. Really, Dan? That's amazing. Well, I know.
Oh, that's really interesting, Dan. But if you have a look at our players, best goalkeepers, we got Szczesny still playing. We got Cech who's still playing.
Sorry, we've got who's still playing?
Szczesny's still playing.
Yeah.
In goal.
What's his name was playing for Fabianski was still playing.
Yeah, Fabianski was playing. Leno was playing. And of course, you got the twat at Villa as well.
Martinez, World Cup winner. He hasn't done badly, has he?
So we still got 4 really good goalkeepers still playing, apart from Martin.
I mean, in the semi-finals of the Champions League, there were 2 Arsenal goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Won't be in the final, sadly, because life is shit and short. Off season. Miss M, what is the best food in Toronto? Cold food. Fire by Arthur Brown is the theme tune to something. Can't remember what it is. Where are we? It's a bit more. How do I lift the mood a little bit? We're champions of Europe, everyone. Leave it to the women. Okay.
Yeah, no, we are. No, we should be happy for that. Yeah.
Does it make up for the season? Does it? Does it?
The 2 different seasons. So the women, the women started off their season really poorly, and basically with one change, and they were, their fortunes.
I don't like this. I feel like I've laid a trap.
I'm just saying. No. They're separate. So if you want to muddle them, and bring them together, then
If by muddling them you mean like celebrate as if we've won the Champions League, which we have, yes, that's how I'm muddling them. That's what's happened. No, but I feel like this conversation where obviously the women's team sack their manager and win the Champions League is exactly plays in. I feel like I've dug the hole, covered it with leaves. And
I wasn't even going that route. I was trying to keep them separate. You're trying to bring them back together again. I'm trying to keep them separate. So
what are they called? What are the women's team called? Are they called? What are they called? They're called. They're called Arsenal. That's fine then. Yeah, well, Arsenal had a great season, so that'll do. Only an Arsenal woman can produce an Arsenal fan. Does everyone know the reference I'm making to the 300 about the Spartan? Why do you let your woman speak like this in front of men? And she comes forward and goes, only a Spartan woman can give birth to a Spartan son. And I was like, oh, yeah. Come on, leave it to the women. That's what I say. Never heard of that. Boom. Okay. It's absurd. I love it. Anything that starts with absurd will get read out. So just put that up there. It's absurd. Don't even need to pay. It's absurd to me that Gyökeres is not considered more risky than Šeško. I don't know if absurd's the right word there. Like Gyökeres has scored 53 goals in 50 appearances.
That's some people might say that's absurd.
I think it's absurd. Yeah. I don't even do that.
There's a risk in anybody we bring in. You bring in Isak, he might get the Arsenal curse and be injured like he's been for Newcastle. You bring in Osimhen and he might clash with Arteta. Don't want that.
Or he might get injured.
Yeah, all of them could get injured, right? Sesko might actually be too young for this, for Arsenal at this point in his career, and Gyökeres may be too old. He may have hit his peak. Maybe we caught him too late, right?
Yeah.
No. I mean, 80 GA in one season might be it, right? And then
I agree.
Because he comes to England.
I do just want to take issue with one thing that you said, because I agree with everything else. So I've picked the one thing you said that I didn't agree with. I'm just going to plow into that because I feel like I've defended Alex Isak a lot for his. People will always say, "Oh, he's always injured." You wouldn't really know it though, would you? Like he may have had a few injuries here or there, but he really, in terms of his statistics, in the last 3 seasons, he's played 22, and bear in mind he came in the winter. He played 22, 30, and 34 games. So he's not missed a lot of games. He has
about the Arsenal curse, right? And that's what I said.
Oh, I see.
The
Yeah,
Arsenal curse.
Yeah.
That Calafiori had injury concerns coming in and had injury concerns when he got here.
Marino never injured a day in his life, and Gabriel throws him over his shoulder.
The Arsenal curse in terms of injuries
Thomas
is
Partey, like a metronome, every game available, one day after the other, like solid, training 6-7 days a week, carrying other players around, comes to Arsenal. I feel sick.
Yeah. I think with the Partey thing, they managed him a little bit differently than we did. We just said Arteta doesn't have like off days for any of his players. If he can play them all 38 games, he will. We've seen.
Yeah, Gary, you're so right. And one of the most frustrating things I heard Arteta say, and this is over a year ago now, his contention when discussing the number of games for which Bukayo Saka is fit, he said, if you're a top athlete, you should be able to play 50 games a season. And I just think, yeah, if you're a top racehorse, you should be able to race every day. But if we actually wanted to win the race, you might give it a rest. Do you know what I mean? Just give it a fucking rest. Like I'm just saying maybe when we're playing Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup, that'd be a game where if you actually desperately need Bukayo Saka for that.
Once again, I'll say this again. He sat next to Pep. Supposedly was Pep's number 2 or whatever. Did he not watch what Pep did with his team? Did he not watch Pep not push all his players to play every game, every minute of every game? Did he not watch that? Was he not sitting there by his side that whole time they were winning?
What do you just think he thought? I'll show him. The way I do it's going to be
like because I put it. We complain about minutes on one of my shows. I always look at the minutes played, and it's like their top players do not play every game.
No,
we have 8 players that play over 3,000 minutes. They have 4. Of course, one of them's the goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, and even then, he rotates his goalkeeper. This was more of a thing for me, not last season, but the season before when we came out of nowhere and we were over relying on the first 11, and we had players on the bench, and you thought, come on, there's a bit. Don't get me wrong. If I have to win a game, I'm going to put my strongest team out there. But if you have to win every single game, you still have to think ahead a little bit, I know I'm oversimplifying it and it's crass to do this, but when you play a Championship Manager, it tells you the percentages they're fit. And you look at your best player, your best goal scorer, and you think, yeah, but he's 89% fit, which means if I play him for this match, it increases the probability of injury, and it means he definitely won't be fit for the match after. So you have to have 2 players in every position. And if you don't, if you have a Kieran Tierney just sitting on the bench season after season, and you can't think of a way to put him on, then you're either being lazy or you're scared. And I don't put it down to laziness. I just think Arteta's scared. I think he sometimes my biggest criticisms are, well, I've said them so many times now. One of them is definitely a lack of courage to do something, to roll the dice and just go, right. Even that game against Paris Saint-Germain, even then you're just like, come on, there's nothing. We've got to do something. You might as well just go for it. Sometimes it backfires. Sometimes he gets it right, but by and large, we are waiting till the 80th minute and nothing's happening, and you just think, oh well, we're all resigned to it now.
I think he takes things he overthinks things, right? So if he, for example, I believe if he sat Saka for like the last 30 minutes of a game, I feel Arteta's like, he'll probably think I've lost him. He won't want to come back and start for me the next game and give me a better performance than the one he just did, which was not good.
Yeah, you know what? There is that, we didn't touch on that, where some of the players are like, I want to play. I mean, there was that non-celebration goal from Trossard. I think a good manager, you just talk to them. You just go, you're so important to me. I'm not going to play you against West Ham at home because, frankly, I think we can beat West Ham at home without you. and I want you to play 40 games this season. I think modern football is done in minutes now. It's not done in games. It's kind of silly when you see, Trossard played 30 games. And you go, yeah, but 15 of them were 10 minutes, So I think minutes, what you were talking about just now, is like looking at the minutes. When I looked at it, Saka was on 2,500 and the highest rated Man City player was on 2,000. Jack Grealish was on 80. They all had... There weren't any players in the Man City team that had significantly fewer than 500 minutes, whereas we had a few who had no minutes at all, and we had some who just played every game. Saliba, he's going to be tired now. He's going to be tired. It must be really... And the other thing, I think it's very hard to say this outside of like an Arsenal community, because everyone, I think, we're whinging and making excuses. But nearly winning the league has got to be as tiring as winning the league. Probably more tiring because you don't have anything to show for it, right? So honestly, I think the last 2 seasons have taken a lot out of us. And the deepest frustration from analysis of the stats is that, all right, coming second is an achievement, but coming second 3 years running feels like it isn't. And when you think that we didn't lose to just Manchester City, we also lost to Liverpool. We were supposed to be ahead of them in a project. But last season, they could relax a lot more than us. They didn't have as much on the line. They weren't so emotionally tired. We went toe-to-toe with City. And like two alpha animals in any sport, if they fight each other, they're both tired, which is one of the best reasons not to fight. When two bears raise up at each other, threat displays it so they don't hurt each other. Because even if you win that confrontation, you're so knackered that, we saw City fall apart for losing Rodri and for the natural consequence of 4 really strong seasons. We had 2 really tough seasons. I'm sad we didn't do better, but when you look at the fact we finished on 74 points, if we'd got the same points we did in the 22-23 season, we'd been level with Liverpool on points, level with Liverpool on goal difference, and we would have taken the league this season because we'd have scored 2 goals more. So if we'd maintained not last season's excellent form, 28 games won, 89 points, 91 goals scored, I'm not talking about maintaining that level. I'm saying even if we'd held the level we were at 2 years ago, we would arguably be champions now. And that's not to take anything away from Liverpool. They were better than us this season. There's no question about that. But we fell away. We fell away at the worst time to fall away. It's like watching your team for 2 years get closer and closer to the line, and then this year just pulling up. And we pulled up in February. We knew we weren't going to do it in February. Gyökeres was very good against us, and he was playing against Magalhaes and Saliba. He was until the 84th minute, and then Gabriel came off injured, and Jacob Kivior almost allowed the shot. And the Vex HA! Yes, Dan and Chad, you're good. Good to see you, sir. Very good. Oh my God, deluded. Who is? Zanzi, talking about you.
You say so much, Zanzi. It's just ridiculous. The stuff that keeps going.
Getting lampooned now.
I'm deluded about my stats on the Golden Gloves, am I? Okay. I'm going to blame Wikipedia for that.
Lone Star London, I understand you're in Texas now, but no, he weren't. That's such a London way of saying that. No, he weren't. Was you out, was you? No, he weren't. That sporting team was dead, and he alone was threatening enough to give Saliba and Magalhaes a workout. I don't know if they would have called it a workout, to be honest with you.
We won 4-1 or something like that already.
Do you remember? Doesn't anyone remember Gabriel's goal celebration?
Yeah.
Like, do you think that Victor, if I'd said to you that on that day, Victor's coming, I'd be like, oh, good. Yeah. Next, we'll sign Haaland, and him and Miles Lewis-Kelly can be roommates.
Did we beat them 5-1?
Yeah.
Was it 5-1?
Yeah, it was 5-1.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
So. It wasn't close at all. We beat them 5-1. They're a shit team. They beat Man City 4-1. Look what a team they are. It's like, hang on a minute. Like, you guys don't even work hard on your double standards. It's not even like, look, I know I said that they were a shit team, but their circumstances have changed. No, they haven't. No, they were a shit team when they lost to you, but a couple of weeks before when they beat Man City, they were an excellent team. That's just how it goes. There is an agenda. We're not popular. This isn't a contentious thing to say. This is a fact. Gyökeres won't play good every game, but when he does, it's good. Yeah, when he plays good, it's good. That's a fair statement. Let's stop pretending. I'm never going to stop pretending, and you can't make me, or Rosie. Rosie's never going to stop pretending. Still crap. Then the only striker that played well against us was Isak. I think Mo Salah played well. I know he's a forward. Erling Haaland has had bad games. Yeah, I think we've got a really good defence. That'd be the first to say. I think I thought you were going to be saying this earlier. I'm not sure this is entirely what you're saying, Gary. Like Arteta has built his project by sorting out the defence.
I think the defense scarred him in that first half season with the likes of Mustafi and whatnot. Sorry, did you just spit up your drink or something?
So close. It's so close. It's comic genius to put the word Mustafi and defence in the same sentence. I'm
just waiting to see dribbles coming down the camera now.
No. I caught it in time, but I was just like Mustafi. I really like David Luiz as well, but I was like, probably not as a keeper.
Without David Luiz, you don't get Gabriel Margalez. I'm sticking by that one.
Kolasinac. Oh.
Yeah, the fact that he did all he could to make sure we had a solid foundation on the back in defense, and then since then he won't do the same thing with the offense. I'm like, dude, it's no different. On one side, you have a limited number of resources in the attack. Get the best out of them. It doesn't matter how you do it. Defensively, he did that for that 4 or 5 month period. Got us to a point where, you know what, you're solid at the front. You know what, defensively we can make do and get by, and we did, right? And then you're like, all right, when he starts to build his own, will he do the same? And he didn't. He's not looking at it like that. Like, he's looking at it like, I got the best players in every position. It's like, you don't.
No.
They can't do what you want.
I'll be honest. I know that we got Timber, Rice, Raya, and Havertz in the transfer summer 2 years ago, and it felt like such a big transfer window because it was a statement signing of Declan Rice. Everyone wanted him. I wasn't keen on Havertz, but I was prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yuri and Timber, I had a few people tell me that actually, he's got a mistake or two in him, but it was a really good window. But I don't think Kai Havertz, I didn't really think he brought him in to play as a midfielder, but then he seemed to have, and now he hasn't. What is it about? Like, I don't know who else has to say it. I mean, we are all saying it. Everyone's saying it. There will be a striker coming in this summer, but that we went in for Šeško last summer and that was it. There wasn't even the vaguest attempt that we weren't going to need a striker all season because, I suppose because we had Jesus and we had Havertz and it just feels weird. You let Nketiah go and you don't bring someone. It just, the whole thing is just weird.
The loyalty to the players that were here was a little bit too much. Like
the loyalty, but not to Eddie Nketiah.
He won't sit Trossard or Martinelli. They have to be part of this squad, and they don't. They don't have to be part of the squad. Like when he had Nketiah, we're like, no, get rid of Nketiah. Eventually he did, and then he went, all right, I still got this covered. And you're like, no,
you haven't. You didn't have it covered last year. Now you've got one player fewer, and that's bad. Like, everyone can see that the maths didn't add up. Boy Tendio, the only striker that played well against us was Isak, and we're not getting Isak. No, we're definitely not. I definitely don't think we are. I'm not doing a done and dusted on that. AJ says, hope you're good. If Gyökeres didn't pass the eye test when he played against us, then I know anyone else can pass the eye test. Then
we just need better than what we've got. We need somebody who's more available.
Thank you, Gary, because I said this last summer. I was saying, everyone keeps saying, oh, he's not an upgrade. He has to be better than the person we have on the bench, which is no one.
Yeah.
So right now, go and sign anyone because they're better than anyone is better than no one. If I'm sitting on the bench, it's better than no one. Well, almost anyone is better than no one. I'm not in this case. I've ruined my own argument. Even broken Man United signed a player. My God, they've done nothing but sign a player. I watched transfer. I really like it as well. The Terrace. I really like watching him. I've forgotten his name now. How bad is that? Terry Hughes. Yeah. I really like him. I just think he's getting better and better as a journalist. He asks really good questions. But there was a guy on there, and it's just the narratives. He had this panel of people, and the guy going, he's the worst player. They were talking about Rasmus Højlund. He's the worst striker in the league. And I was like, no, he's not. He's just in a bad club. Xerxes and Rasmus Højlund, the two players, I think that in the right squad with the right players around them could be really, really good players. This whole thing of like, Nicholas Jackson's crap. People tend to just go by the immediate form those players are in and extrapolate that. And it's just irritating. I think that Man United have bought forwards. Man United have the worst transfer policy I've ever seen. Mason Mount, they bought at the same time we bought Kai Havertz. I think we know who's worked out better. They bought in Rasmus Højlund. They bought in, they go and get Chido Obi Martin off us and offer him silly money. Like they're just anyone. Like when they're in for Gyökeres and you're thinking, look, I get it. All right, he played with Ruben Amorim, but you don't have to be clairvoyant to be looking down the road and going, Ruben, maybe I won't join you just now, but maybe in 6 months, if you get fired, I'll come and play with you where you end up. Because he's not. I mean, like Ruben Amorim's already quit Man United. He's already said, like, if they want me to go, I'll go, and I won't take any compensation. Ruben, don't do that.
His agent is sitting there going,
"The fuck are you doing?" Yeah, like, hang on a minute. What other job? What other job are you thinking of getting? Like,
no, you're getting paid here. They're gonna have to fire you.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fire you out of a cannon. Isak and Mbeumo is one that I'm surprised there's not more talk around. I mean, he's being linked with Newcastle, which I think Newcastle's weird because they're being linked with strikers, and I don't know.
Mbeumo has been linked with Man U.
Yeah, I know, but people keep getting linked with Man U, and you think, where are they getting this money from? They're not in the Champions League. They've their staff have to bring in sandwiches. Like they've got a whole what the fuck are they all talking about? It's like.
Isn't Cunha like half their budget?
Yeah, I think he's £62 million, and I think he's I Red Eye Guna. If you're watching, massive elevations to you. I loved it because he was on the whole Cunha thing way before anyone else, and I was watching going, yeah, this guy's good, but there's something about his attitude in that period that just made me think, nope, not him. And I love there's a David Ornstein on The Athletic doing it's called The Anatomy of a Transfer, and it's really interesting because it goes through the 7 stages of a transfer, so player, scouting, manager, agent, boardroom, lawyer, medical. Right. So he's like, there is so much that goes into transfers. One of the key things that goes into it in the scouting is they will follow the player around, see how he's living, see what his relationships are like. They do that level of research because you're spending 60, 70 million quid on something. You check it out. And I find that people don't talk about that very much. And I think with Cunha, as with Osimhen, that's one of the reasons that people aren't as keen. And that's why I addressed the question earlier on Victor Gyökeres. Why aren't there more teams after him? Boy Tendio, you're not being serious, man. I didn't read this out. Isak Mbeumo, I think you mean Mateta. I take all week. Gyökeres not convinced. I think there's a debate going on about Gyökeres. I think there's a pro and an anti camp coming up. What I'm going to say for the record now, on the eve of him signing, because I think it will be done, and I've said done and dusted for over a week. I'm doubling down on my done and dusted. As soon as Gyökeres is here, I will support him, but I kind of at this point would rather it wasn't him. That's how I feel.
The thing is, we had Kai Havertz, and I can't. There wasn't many people who wanted him here more than the Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans wanted him here at Arsenal more than most Arsenal fans did.
Yeah, but the thing you can say about Chelsea fans, SK, no offense if you're watching in the, but like I mean this, so I can't. They don't know shit, Like they're playing football is like FIFA to them. Yeah. It's like, everything's just nonsense.
I always thought when he came here, he would play better because we're a better team,
and he has.
and
Indubitably
that's what he's
played
done.
well.
But but the responsibilities that he has on his shoulders, he can't meet them. The
Now he can. 'Cause
expectations.
his shoulders are huge now.
He's
buff now, mate.
He's
Buff.
beefed up. Yes.
Don't make him angry. You won't like him when he's angry.
But he's still not a striker, though, is he?
He's not. What is he? What?
He's
Where
attacking
do you play him and
midfielder.
go? I'm not going to take where does he? He can't play anywhere but striker for us.
Am I supposed to? I feel like I'm being baited into saying it because he is the quintessential Raumdeuter. He is exactly what, like, you know, the what's it called, the Grincher, like the in Argentina, the number 10, they call it the hook. A number 10 has to be this exotic, wonderful playmaker, creative genius that can pull the whole team together. And in Germany, we have Raumdeuter. We have that kind of intelligent footballer that finds space, that is able to move around freely. That's Kai Havertz. That's what he's portrayed as. That's what I see in him, whether it's because I don't really know what I'm talking about or not. But I think that you can't pigeonhole him. He's not fast enough to be an out-and-out striker. He's not any one thing, but he is intelligent, and I love watching him play football at the moment. So I'm a fan. By the way, Anthony's here. Oi, Razor! What the bloody hell's going on here? Gary drinking a pint of pins at the Adams Arms. Lol, with many emojis. Lovely to see you, Earth Vader.
Yeah. No, I mean, he does put himself in a good position and stuff like that, but the timely goals, this is the ones that we need, and the ones that he's been presented with, they don't always pan out. And you're like, and the ones that we need him to finish off are the ones where it's been a tough day for us at the office.
Yeah.
And so he needs to stand up, right? And usually,
he's not.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do that. The timely, like the when we finally get a run at the goalkeeper 1-on-1, I'm like, if it's Havertz, then forget about it. It's not. It never plays out, right?
There was it him that scored 1-on-1 at West Ham? I think
he's done it a few times, but
you just don't back him to.
I just don't like the odds are against him. Basically, based on what we've seen so far, that he will get that goal. Multiple times he's had that 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he's just not either he misses the opportunity or he loses the ball because he's just not. I don't think he's comfortable getting that ball on the run with attackers on both sides of him, and he's got to split them.
Not,
and
where, but then you wouldn't be like Bergkamp. Imagine if Bergkamp had been played in the wrong way. It's probably not as big an impact because when you're as good as Bergkamp, you can play almost anywhere. But there is a way of getting the best out of all your players, and I think Havertz needs a big player to play off. I think if you saw him if we played 4-4-2, and I know we're not going to because it's far too prosaic and mundane, and everyone's so clever now that they'll come up with 10 different systems. But 4-4-2 used to be pretty effective, and in that world, Kai Havertz as your number, as a sort of a 10, floating 10, and you have an Alan Shearer type up ahead of him, and that works, I think, really well. I think Kai Havertz, I'm sold on now. I really like him. I'm gutted he didn't play more of the season because I think this was a season for him to do better. What was his comment here I was looking at? I don't think Kai Havertz hits double digits in any team that is not UCL grade. That's a fair point. I like that, actually, because that kind of implies that he needs a good team around him, but doesn't everyone, really? Yeah. Get the fuck. Weird. Stop telling fibs. Lone Star. Rambo relegated again. Triple relegation. Ramsdale on his way to Aston Villa to replace Martinez. Is that right? God. I don't know. I don't like Aston Villa anymore. Drastic Plastic, best name. Hi all and hi Drastic. Hey Jordan, how the hell are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're still celebrating, man. Here's a way to compare Sesko and Gyökeres. Sesko is like a boxer with good fundamentals that doesn't get many knockouts. Gyökeres is knocking out most of the guys he faces before round 5-2. But there are also one's doing it in Germany, one's doing it in Portugal. I think you can't get away from the coefficient. I mean, Portugal, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's like when you look at Matt Dowman playing against players
yeah.
his own age, you're like, well, no, he needs a bigger challenge because guess what? They can't play with him,
Yeah.
right? So they
Yeah,
move
it
him
was
up,
brilliant.
and
Did you see the goal he scored?
he still looks good. You're like, well, damn. When do we move him up again? Because he's looking
not
good now with the U19s now. But you know
no,
what?
but
I mean,
U17s. He played for the U17s, and no, look,
I'll say U17s. You're right. Yeah.
and they're out and didn't qualify, so he's shit. So it's all about silver. Gary, come on.
You know,
man.
I mean, I've watched many of the games that he's played. Like, you're like looking at like he can't do it by himself. You know what I mean?
Well,
you
then
can, but he
do
can't.
you know what you've brought up? I do want to talk this summer about great players of history. I'd like to open up a debate. Everyone pick their favorite player of all time. I'm tired of all these people under 30 thinking that Messi and Ronaldo is the question, which is the best player ever. It is quite obviously Maradona, right? Because you just said something there. You said you can't do it all by yourself. Maradona is the only player in the history of football who could actually do it by himself. He went to Napoli. They'd never so much as looked at a Scudetto, and he was like, yeah, I'm having that, and won 2 of them. His Argentina team in 1986 that wins the World Cup, people go, yeah, but it's Argentina. I go, no. It's Argentina 1986. Name a single other player in that team, and no one ever can. He was Argentina that year. He got them to the final in 1990 on his own. God, if there wasn't this stupid rule against doping, he'd have won it with them in 94. I just think, like, at a certain point, he got banned for cocaine. Anyone who thinks that cocaine is a performance-enhancing drug has just not been around the block. Do you know what I mean? Like, the idea that this guy was playing elite-level football off his tits on cocaine is just... There should be a separate Olympics for people on cocaine. Just see what happens. If you think they're breaking world records, you're sadly mistaken.
Well, I'm going to have to say good night to
Gary. Thank you for joining us.
Dan, Zanzi, have a good one. Gary. I'm sorry I took some of the waves from you, but you can have them back now. And
give him a chance to nap.
Oh, is that what it is? He rest up the voice. So it's all yours now. Here's the mic. But everybody in the chat, thank you for joining Dan and us, and we'll do this again another time. And,
see you soon, man. Cheers for coming.
Thank you.
It's been real.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan saying, hey, Mel, Wagwan. Pint of Wagwan for me, please, barman. I think it would have been made public if Odegaard's child had health issues. I hope it wouldn't. But I was only speculating. I shouldn't really have done that. But I was mostly just saying, look, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Ribbit. I think Rice would be.
I'd do something with Odegaard's beard. I'd just shave it off because it looks fucking.
Yeah, I would. I'd insist. I'd go, come at you.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I might do that with Saliba's beard. It makes his chin look Jimmy Hill.
Yeah.
Pep was our most expensive worst signing. Yeah, I think that's widely acknowledged. I can't. Yeah, definitely. The only player who's cost more is Declan Rice. I think he's probably a good signing, no? Gary, you sound like a stenographer. I don't even know what that means, but it's funny. Lone Star Londoner. I'm no fan of Pepe, but compared to other deals since, that's nothing in comparison. Anthony Free. Oh, well, come on. You can't compare our signings with the signings of Man United. Of course they do bad signings. Richarlison at Tottenham. There's some bad signings out there. Flappy Hansky. Gosh, my God, I'm miles behind. What am I doing? It's Mr. Tom 28. Bloody good to see you. Hello, Rosie. I was shocked. It was the last thing I was expecting. I do thank you so much. As I'm sure you can imagine, to me, it's not about the money just being thought of. We love you, Mr. Tom. I hope you're well. I hope you're getting better. Mr. Tom, do not do those children's games in a junior high school playground. The police will arrive within seconds. Zanzi holding his own in the chat and behind the bar. This is multitasking at its very best. I'm going to take a short... this is a new segment I'm introducing for sponsorship. Please join us after a few words from our sponsors.
I was overweight and looked terrible, but AIDS helped me lose 46 pounds. The AIDS diet plan helped me lose 28 pounds.
AIDS helps control your appetite so you lose weight, yet AIDS lets you taste, chew, and enjoy. And the appetite suppressant in AIDS is not a stimulant.
AIDS helped me to lose 18 pounds, and it doesn't contain anything to make me nervous.
Question: why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS? AIDS helps you lose weight without making you jittery.
So yeah, please do try that out. Message from our sponsors. Where are we up to? I drink celery water. Nobody drinks celery water.
I think a lot of people who had AIDS lost a lot of weight, didn't they?
It's the AIDS diet. It's
Yes.
it's our sponsors. They sponsor us. It's apparently it's good, and there's no it's an appetite suppressant. I don't know. I don't know much about it. I just take the checks. I just take the checks to the bank. You know. Anthony is jealous. Lone Star, he wants all the celery to himself. Oh, I bet. Hello, Mr. Herbert. I assume you enjoyed the Champo final. Arteta is a brilliant tactician. Oh, God. Good advice, Zanzi. I'm so far behind. Someone said it. Good advice about 20 minutes ago. How am I so far behind? It was a group effort, Tom. I thought an Amazon voucher would be best. We were going to buy you porn, Tom, but we weren't sure what you didn't have already. So Amazon voucher seemed sensible. Dan, when is the next quiz night and what will it be on?
It'll be on Tuesday or Thursday.
Or Sunday. I do sometimes do Sundays.
Right.
I don't always, but I do sometimes do Sundays. I will spend it on Pepsi when my current batch, which did eventually get delivered while I was in hospital, runs out. Is Pepsi good for you? Mess food in Toronto. How am I so far behind? Magic Tom. Panic went through me when I bought it. I thought I'd bought a Game Gear voucher and not an Amazon voucher. Nathan says, Rosie, Arteta, Van Bronckhorst spring to mind. And of course, Ibrox is a beaut, has hybrid vibes. Oh, does it? I'm not feeling that. The quiz is back. Well, we can do a quiz next Tuesday, I guess. I don't know what else is going to be on. City were trash this season, though. Yes, they were, but not that much worse than us. Mustafi's a circus camp. God, I'm miles behind. Might as well just race through these. Sorry if I didn't catch your... well, Arteta better get on the blower and sign Zanzi if anyone is better than no one. We need a world-class striker. Fuck, I'm miles behind. Oh, loves it when the chat Lone Star, blah, 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 blah. Bowie's bulge in Labyrinth should have been listed in the credits. Anyone who's seen Labyrinth knows exactly what I'm on about. I haven't, but I still think Lone Star Londoner with my favourite comment so far because he's agreeing with me. And when you do that, you're right. So Maradona was unquestionably the greatest player in my eyes I've ever seen. Mine too. Mine too. But absolutely, the greatest footballer of all time is Diego Armando Maradona. Zanzi, thoughts?
Well, I can't deny who's a great footballer.
The greatest. Well, who's better, Pele? Are you going to say Pele?
Well, yeah, but there again, Pele had a better side around him.
Just a bit, yeah.
But then no one else won 3 World Cups than Pele did.
I think if you put Maradona in the Brazil team, he wins 3 World Cups. I think if you put Pele in the Argentina side, he doesn't win a World Cup. I think if Pele had gone to Napoli, they wouldn't have won Scudetto. The guy's he was just phenomenal.
Yeah, but Pele wasn't bad.
No, I mean, listen, yeah, I think Messi's amazing. I think Ronaldo's a fantastic player. I just don't understand why people can't see what seems so obvious to me, that Maradona is almost good enough to have me believing there is a God. He's almost good enough to have me think that's just not, without a divine being, there cannot be football at this level. He was just sensational. Sensational. And, you know, I'm as a 12-year-old boy watching him cheat against England to essentially knock us out of the quarterfinals. Even that couldn't put me on. I was horrified. That was like one of those early developmental points in your life where you go, life is shit and it's not fair. And this shouldn't happen. But even that, and I'm now saying, okay, he's the best player I've ever seen, no question.
Yeah, but then his second goal against England, though. Well,
that's it. You're sitting there watching it, and the universe has just presented you with this. He goes, this and this, this and this. Look, he does this, but he can also do this. So you left at the end of that quarterfinal, because I remember saying to everyone, you know, it should have been 1-1. It should have been 1-1. It's not fair. But at the same time going, yeah, but when a player can do that against you, When they said, was it I can't remember which one it was, Terry Butcher, that said, how do you stop him or tether a cross to him and have a sniper in the stands?
Yeah.
That's the level he was at. He was football for me. I just think Maradona, just that ridiculous frame, that squat, low center of gravity, dribbling, magnificent. That's what I want to see when I watch football. Ronaldinho, Maradona, I don't want to see free kicks taken by Ronaldo. I don't want to see his goal celebration.
I'd have absolutely loved it if Ronaldinho had come to Arsenal, because I think he's a terrific player. Because he's always playing football with a smile, and then he's doing these little tricks and things. That goal he scored against Chelsea.
Yeah, it'll always, of course, Ronaldinho will always be remembered for the goal he scored against Seaman. And it was one of those goals where you think, yeah, when he says he meant it, you believe him.
Yeah,
you just do. Pele, Boy Tendio. I don't think it is Pele. I really like Pele. But if you could only watch one of them play, you'd watch Maradona. Yes, Daniel, both stadiums were designed by the same Scottish architect. Pele played in trenches dug out by pigs. Maradona was playing on a carpet comparatively. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Was it Everton's stadium, the old one, Goodison Park? That was built by the same people who built Highbury.
Is that right?
Yep.
They are quite similar, aren't they? Well,
yeah, because apparently Lee Dixon, he was saying that when Arsenal went to Everton, he said it is like playing at home because it looks so similar.
Got to have an impact. Could Maradona have won the EFL Championship in a team that has Meslier in goal? Yeah, probably. The dad in my big fat Greek wedding can relate any word back to Greece. I'm like that with Scotland. Of course, it was designed by a Scottish person. We invented everything. Not the telephone. Not the telephone. Feels all alone in here. Get out of Facebook. What are you doing? It's a den of iniquity. And Dowman, the English Maradona. Oh, mate, how I wish. What's in that Coke, Dan? Whiskey? No, it's just Coke. It's not even real Coke. It's Coke Zero. Please sponsor us. Please sponsor us. And on that, with time heading towards, we're doing it. I've got one more advert. I've got one more media sponsor.
Here's Milky, the marvelous milking cow. It's fun to milk her, gonna do it right now. She drinks the water when we pump her tail. She's raising her head, it's milking time now. Her pretend milk is a feeling the pail.
She drinks water and gives pretend milk.
Milky, the marvelous milking cow. Milky, the marvelous milking cow with pretend milk tablets. She's new from Kenner.
I know it's still a little way off Christmas, but I think that's a great present for if you've got young ones. It's an anatomically correct cow toy.
What is pretend the milk made from?
Pretend. I don't know. But you can't buy the capsules anymore, so make out of anything you want. Actually, use real milk. It doesn't matter. Zizou, original Ronaldo, Bergkamp, and Thierry. You call it. I'm always going Bergkamp. There's not really anything in it for me. Like Bergkamp. I will hold to Johan Cruyff said, I quote, "There's no such thing as a perfect footballer, but when I close my eyes, I see Dennis Bergkamp." And that's Johan Cruyff saying that. So I don't disagree with Johan Cruyff. God rest his soul. Both are poor, but pretty sure Maradona was the poorest. That's why he can juggle anything, because he could. Yeah, I mean, in terms of which of them grew up poorer, I think that's a very close thing. Maradona never played in the carpet. He kind of did. I get what you were saying, by the way. I do feel like the pitches in Brazil were not quite up to the standard of the pitches in Italy, the pitches at Barcelona. If only Ronaldinho was as trustworthy when asked about the validity of his passport. Both are poor. So a whole lot of milk. Yum, yum, yum. Damn. The things people used to sell back in the day, that's still on sale. We've been sponsored. I'm still waiting for the big, for Prittstick to come back and all that. But in the meantime, you take it where you can get it, right? Zidane is a level above those names. He's not a level above Bergkamp. Don't be silly. Let's not get into it. That's a ridiculous thing to say. You're just salty because you let Cantona go to Man United. It's milk powder in the cow somewhere, probably. Thank you, Portendio. It's like, oh, that's good. That's good to know that. Bergkamp, the Bobby Davro of Arsenal. Stop it. R9 before the injuries was outrageous, but he wasn't Bergkamp or Maradona. Cruyff and Bergkamp could do it all. Yeah, Bergkamp was my hero. Blessed are the cheesemakers. Dirty Leeds, absolutely. Dirty Leeds soon to be in the Premier League. Do you give them a chance, Mr. Tom? Do you give Leeds a chance? Sunderland.
Just to stay up?
Yeah, I don't. Well, not to what? Yeah, okay. I wonder what odds you'd get on them winning it. It's got to be 5,000 to 1, isn't it?
It's got to be, yeah. I mean, there's 2 seasons on the top now where everyone who came up has gone straight back down again.
Yeah, I might put 100 quid on Leeds to win the Premier League at 100 to 1. I thought 50,000 to 1. Sorry, 5,000 to 1. God, I'm getting tired. Leeds, so dirty. We had 0 red cards last year. Can do some buying Leeds. Is that true? You got 0 red cards? Well, it's not like we got our red cards for filthy fouls, is it? Like Rice kicked the ball 5 inches. That's a red card. Trossard kicked the ball 20 nanoseconds after the referee's blown his whistle. That's a red card. William Saliba sort of tussling with someone. That's a red card. Miles Lewis Skelly, filth merchant. Wasn't a red card. Overall. Rescinded. I'm trying to remember. Was there another red card this season? Moss says perfect striker Van Basten. I'm sorry, I do remember the Euros in '88, and I do remember Van Basten's outstanding contribution. But I don't think he was the best centre forward of all time. I think R9 was better than Van Basten.
Well, yeah, but even there, he's put into shade by God, who's the Polish lad who's now in Barcelona? Lewandowski's.
No, I don't think he's. I think if you actually look R9, if you look at the way he played football, it's much better. Batistuta, no, not for me. You'd get 1,000 to 1 on Leeds. I'd get 5,000 to 1. I'm sure of it. Is that true? Is that really true? Oh, so you only get 1,000 to 1 now? God, they are so tight, aren't they? No, I know Tom wasn't saying Arsenal had 0 red cards. That Arsenal had, but I was just saying that you can still be a dirty team and not have red cards, and you can be a really clean team and have red cards. I was making that point, and I was right. And you're obviously only right if you agree with me. That's
Marino red. He got a double booking, didn't he?
Why can I not remember that? What game was that?
It was. It wasn't that long ago, actually.
No, it wasn't. I can see it now. I'm going to have to look it up. How embarrassing. I haven't been sleeping very well recently, so I blame that for everything. Leeds, Burnley and Sunderland will go straight back down.
Yeah, Marina got sent off 79th minute against Liverpool in the 2-2 draw.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Silly game. Silly game. Bookies genuinely colluded after Leicester caused them to have their pants pulled down. Listen, I don't want to get into it, but I did used to own my own online gaming company, and I can tell you that we don't collude. It's just the nature of gambling is that we arbitrage all our bets. So there's no collusion between bookmakers. It's just that if I give you 15 to 1, I have to go and get better. So I lay both sides of a bet. Otherwise, we could lose a lot of money. The quiz will be on Zanzi. Will you please tell them when the next quiz is? Exactly.
Yes. I shall ask the owner of this channel. Dan?
I haven't got a clue, really. I love football. Should we do a quiz on Thursday?
This Thursday. About what?
Just a quiz? I don't fucking know. Sunday night. All right, go on. Sunday night. Sunday. Well, Rosie's coming. Save the day. Rosie, as the moderatrix, as the moderator general, as the greatest moderator in the history. Oh, Miss Molina's here. Bloody good to see you, Miss Molina. Where have you been? Are you prosecuting someone? Will you give them a break? You know what? Miss Molina's been hanging out, waiting to meet King Charles. He's probably staying at her house, isn't he? Movie quiz. Yes, let's do it. Movie quiz. Movie quiz it is. Movie quiz. I am, as ever, I will be easily bribable. And I love it when Sam Greenwood and people like that go, You're easily bribable. Yes, I am. Yes. Like we'll do. There'll be if you just want it to be rom-coms, it can be rom-coms. I don't care. Long day at work today. Take a day off. Let them go free. Let my people go.
Yeah. Stop prosecuting innocent people.
Well, they've done all the guilty ones. It's only the innocent left. The bloody innocent. You want them off the streets anyway. They're the ones that cause all the problems. Lol, Tom. Just rom-com questions. Wow, do you know we'd run out after about 5 minutes, wouldn't we?
That's as long as that.
Yeah, I was just thinking it probably was a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
What is a rom-com? I don't know. That could be one of the questions. Yes, Sunday night is movie quiz night. I'll get Carl Walsh involved. It'd be funny if we have a professional movie critic in and he doesn't win the movie quiz. Mr. Tom, please be there because you absolutely smashed it last time, didn't you? So, yes, movie quiz. And we'll have a smattering of sports movies as well because it seems only right and proper, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's only right. It's only proper. Winner gets a trip for two to Tom can't make it. Make it. Can't make it. Gutted. Well, that gives you a chance to win it, Rosie. Just saying. That and obviously if you want to bribe us, that can work as well. I'm going to be calling time in 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. It is 20 past the witching hour. We've talked very little transfers, but I feel like we've done them justice. Any of us. I've said done and dusted to Victor Gyökeres, therefore he has to come. But could we also get Benjamin Šeško?
We need two strikers.
Yes. But we've
Because if one gets dropped,
we've got Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus.
well, Jesus isn't coming back until beginning of next year?
At Easter.
Yeah.
Come on, play with me. Like, come on. He comes back at Easter, right? Fuck's sake. And I can't, and by can't make it, I mean he'll be banned. Miss Molina, do you know what? It's brilliant to see you. It's brilliant to see you. How are you?
Hello.
Come on, the ladies.
Come on,
Leave
the
it to the
ladies. That's
women.
right. We are champions of Europe again. But more importantly, we need to give Chloe Kelly the pen to paper, and hopefully she signs a new deal because she is phenomenal.
But isn't it kind of like true now that we can't top that?
Yeah. Well, winning the Champions League twice, and with a manager who just got the job as an intern, then got the permanent manager job, it was like written in the stars for us. But for us to beat the holders and strong team like Barcelona ladies and Lyon ladies, who we were very much so underestimated against, it's incredible. And it was so good that even Wynn had no idea where she was, but she joined in on the celebration.
There's so much that was beautiful about it. Like in terms of what I think it showed was what belief, what character, what staying together can do as a team.
Yeah.
They were not only not fancied. I watched the game. and I don't know anything about women's football. That's the reality of it. But I watched the game, and I was really, really. It was emotional to see us win it. It was a fantastic experience. It was great. It was a great advert for the game. The character of the players was beautiful. Like watching them. So, but I mean, talk about not fancied in a 2-horse race. They were 6-1 against winning. I think it was 9.5-1 to win it in normal time, and I went for the 6-1 bet. And I just watched it, and I thought, this is fight. This is giving everything. This is not surrendering. This is just what's possible when you get to a final. And I think what you saw all over the women's team, you don't really see in the men's. Yeah. Gary was saying earlier that you can't conflate the two, because I was like, have they saved our season? And he was like, they're two different seasons. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, for me, I get that, but I'm just going to see it as one season. Thanks. I mean, like, you know, anyone wants to banter me that we didn't win silver, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Champions League, mate. Champions League. Only English team to win the Champions League, and we've done it twice. Greedy.
Yeah, only English team to do it twice.
I think there's only about 4 teams that have ever done it, isn't it? Barcelona and Lyon. That's it, isn't it? They tend to just swap it between them.
You know, Renee, even as a team, you know, not just them working together collectively and cohesively, from the defending and over several legs in the knockout stages, I think that takes a lot of, you know, mental pressure on the team. But to do that over several legs, home and away from home, away from home, you know, a lot of people wrote us off against Real Madrid when we couldn't turn it around there, and you know, we turned it around, and people underestimated us big time. Even in our own fan base, people underestimated the women's team. And my girl Blackstenius, this woman, she only scored.
What a moment. Do you know what that reminded me of? So much. Because, I mean, I was sure she was onside.
She was.
She was, yeah, well, obviously she was, but like I was so when it went in, it reminded me, it was almost the exact same feeling I had when Alan Smith scored against Parma.
Oh, yeah.
It was so like that. It felt like there's something more beautiful about winning that game, because talk about being underdogs. You know, it was brilliant.
Do you know the pass as well for the goal? Incredible.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
But Blackstenia, Stina, she only scores in finals, like banger goals in finals. She's done it more than once, and you know, the more Swedish in this team, because they have that mentality that you need in the dressing room, and you know, the leadership of Renee. You know, the celebrations of Katie McCabe.
Katie McCabe won the celebrations.
She was on something else, and I'm like, girl, why didn't you invite me? Because we could have been partying together.
She won the celebrations by a distance. I loved it. Both of the interviews. It was her and who was it? Kelly? The other they were interviewed, and they both swore. Was it? And but they both swear because I fucking sorry, I've done it. It was just like, do you know what? They were more Arsenal than any team. I've like that. They were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What phase is the women's team in? No, don't do that. Don't do that. They are champions of Europe already. Do you know what I mean? This is not new for them. They have been. They are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. Never underestimate Arsenal women. That's why I've been referencing the line in 300 where he says, why do you let your woman speak in front of men? And she comes back with, only a Spartan woman can give birth to a Spartan son. And I just feel like only an Arsenal woman. Absolutely brilliant feeling. It was great. I was surprised myself. I was choked up watching them celebrate. I was just like, you've earned this.
It was nice. It was nice for the club to do something for them.
Mob both said this is the thing that I knew was going to happen, by the way. Gary sort of touched this. They sacked their manager and see what got them. Yeah, Man United sacked their manager as well, though. It didn't work out quite. It doesn't always work. You don't just sack your manager and instantly get results. I'm just saying. Rosie's come up with quiz names. Oh, brother, where smart thou? Fast and Curious, or my particular favorite, the Texas Brainsaw Massacre, We're doing a quiz on Sunday night.
Yeah.
I believe they won a 2 million pot for that match. Doesn't matter.
Movie quiz.
Oh, Lone Star. John Travolta.
John Travolta. That's a good title.
I like it. So Arsenal women saved the day. Leave it to the women. I'm thrilled about it. I was saying earlier, Gary was here. I've done some forensic digging. Not satisfied with just putting the season behind me and pretending it never happened. I'm actually looking at what has caused us to slip backwards. I'm going to be releasing a video in the next couple of days. It's a long form one. It does kind of go through the season bit by bit, but there's 10 games that stood out for me as the 10 pivotal games that changed the season. But when I was doing it, something really interesting popped out. If you had to say, obviously, look, everyone's going to say not having a striker is the reason we didn't win the league. Could be that. Is there anything else that popped out at you this season about what went wrong?
Well, I think set pieces, we didn't really do well defending them. We conceded on set pieces at times this season. We used to be good at, defending and taking on corners. I think that's something to add to note. The striker thing is obvious. Everybody and their nan can say that. Not taking our chances in the final third. I also want to say our midfield. At times in the game, we have certain midfielders, whether it's Partey, Odegaard, or even Rice. It's not been a consistent game of 90 minutes. There's sometimes we take the lead in the first half, and in the second half, we've already conceded, and now we need to come back from a losing position, or from a losing position, or from a draw, 1-1 at the moment, and we never come back in games this season, except you could say the Champions League against Real Madrid. The Champions League was a whole different game, but if you're talking about the Premier League, we never came back from a losing position, from my understanding, for the most part. Season, collectively.
All true. It's interesting to say. What was maddening was there was the 2 games were really disappointing draws, and in between we couldn't score a goal. In between we beat PSV 7-1, and you just think, what the actual hell is going on? There's a comment here that I also don't want to say something on as well. Real champions of Europe, unlike the scum across the street. Hearing Tottenham fans calling themselves champions of Europe is exactly why I dislike them. You win nothing for 17 years and you win the second tier trophy, and instead of going, yeah, we're really pleased about it, go, yeah, we're the champions of Europe. It's like, oh, okay then. Yeah, okay then.
I was watching the highlights of all the games, and the Tottenham's fantastic last game against Brighton. And the commentator kept going on about the fact that Tottenham are the European champions. And I was thinking, no, they're not. They won the Europa Cup. They're not the European champions.
What do you say to Inter Milan or PSG when they win the obviously you're not Tottenham, but you've done well as well. It's like Chelsea winning the Conference League. I'm sure they will, but I find it really hard to care.
Are they going to be called European champions as well?
Yeah, obviously. If the Europa League is, and the Conference League is, and then there's Zenith Data Systems is, and then, just having a stamp in your passport is. I feel Arsenal haven't gone backwards. It's worse than it was there for the taking. Didn't win whenever Liverpool didn't win, they were champions that were never put under pressure. Yeah, I agree. We fell backwards. It's kind of clear, but there is a reason, I think. Big up for not sweeping under the rug. No, I'm going to talk about it. I want to look at it. I want to analyze it. I think we all have a lot of thinking to do. We have a big season ahead of us. There's no question. We have a massive summer transfer window. We have a big season ahead of us. And that is going to put huge pressure on this team, because if we start like last season, we just didn't start very well. We didn't really get going. We never did get going. Then we had that really pivotal performance against Man City, where had they not scored, maybe that would have given us something, but we never really clicked. We didn't gel as a team. I think we lost too many players in the summer. Some of those players would have, Reece Nelson and Emil Smith-Rowe would have had a lot of friends at that club who would have missed them. Martinelli's best friend was Fabio Vieira. He went. Eddie Nketiah, you lose a lot of your dressing room all in one go, and you replace them with Calafiori and Marino, and it's not enough. I'm worried about a lot going forward. Mel, were you going to say something?
I need to add something to this point of Calafiori. I don't think if anyone and I know the season's over, so we can vent about this properly. Can I just say, is there something in this contract where when we look at players from Bologna, no disrespect to the players that have come from Bologna, Calafiori was injured against Southampton and not in the squad. This is not the first time he's been injured in the squad. Tomiyasu, again, we know he's injury prone, and we know he may be dealing with some mental health related concerns due to the, the first surgery going wrong. But Calafiori looks like he's now an injury prone player, or should I say, someone we can't really rely on because already in one season he's been out injured more than 3 times. I don't know what it is with signing players from Bologna, but it happens to be that they're both from the same team prior to signing for Arsenal. Thomas Partey, before he signs for Arsenal, he becomes made out of cheese string and gets injured. But when he was at Atletico, he's hardly injured.
Yeah, I think there is something to it. I mean, look, we are talking about Tomiyasu, a major injury that wasn't dealt with properly. So it's difficult because if I look at Ansu Fati, he's a player I really like. I have liked him a lot, and it's terrible what's happening to him because his game has fallen apart from Barcelona mismanaged his injury. I'm not suggesting that Arsenal mismanaged Tomiyasu's injury, but he was fairly consistently playing for Bologna, and when he came to us, he was still relatively consistent. He played, 30 games a season, the 2 seasons up until the injury. So I get your point, but he has played. He didn't immediately fall apart. It wasn't like he came from. And look, let's be honest. Every team, if they think they've got a player who's about to get seriously, I'll give you a really good example from the George Graham era. He sold Rocky Rocastle to Leeds, fully knowing that Rocky's knee was gone, and that Rocky was never going to be a player again. And we took the money off Leeds. Mr. Tom, I'm sure you don't regret having signed Rocky Rocastle. He was great for you, somehow played through it, but he was a crocked player. If you know a player is crocked, you'll try and sell him. That's just what teams do. I think you have, I was saying this earlier, David Ornstein's done a brilliant athletic piece called The Anatomy of a Transfer, and he's talking about the 7 stages of a transfer, and the last stage is medics. So every team does have to do its own. It's caveat emptor, buyer beware. You do have to do your due diligence. No one is going to tell you, by the way, we think he may have a serious ligament injury brewing. Tielemans is one. I think watch out for Tielemans having a major injury in the next couple of years because he's played too many games from too young. There are just signs in some players you can see. I think William Saliba and Bukayo Saka are 2 of our candidates who you would probably look at and go, they're going to. Saka's now had a hamstring tear. Possibly a really good thing to have happened because the surgery on hamstring tears seems to bring you back with stronger hamstring than if you didn't have the surgery. So it's all good. But when it comes to Atletico Madrid signing Thomas Partey, he was so consistent for them.
Yes.
Our injury crisis this season has been us catching up with the injury crisis that we didn't have over 2 years. But do I think we're playing the right number of games or hours, minutes, do all of this? I think we could probably be culpable, but players do get injured.
I think also having a small squad, and not the backup to actually replace players on the pitch when we needed to.
Yeah, very fair. Where we are, winning a second-tier European competition, acting like you beat any of the top 36 ranked teams to do so is simply pathetic. Conference League egg and spoon race. I still wanted them to beat Man United. I didn't. I mean, I get why you did, but I was such a United. And it wasn't a good experience. My one game being a United fan was bloody awful. We did figure out eventually how to stop kicking the ball away. There'll be another rule change for the start of next season, and they'll have to send off 8 of our players, and then they'll go, actually it didn't work. Everyone's fine. Just kick the ball wherever you want. I think if you're worried about time wasting, just add the time at the end of the game. Oh, hang on. They do. Right. Well, fuck it then. Mr. Tom, you get it. It's pathetic. Injury prone Calafiori. Calafiori is injury prone. He's had one significant injury in his career. We knew that going in. Tierney, I think that's heartbreaking. Jesus is the one that's really irritating. We've needed him and he's not been there. Tomiyasu's heartbreaking. The Quizzy Maguire movie. Everyone says, oh, everyone will remember Spurs winning the Europa League. Yeah, I'll remember who they played to get to the final and then beat the worst Man United team we've ever seen. There was a contention about that. Is this the worst Man United team? It is definitely in my lifetime. There's not any doubt. I mean, Man United now is not synonymous with greatness, is it? With one shot on target. Oh, mate, it was such a bad game as well. It would be.
And it was an own goal, too.
It wasn't an own goal. It wasn't an own goal. Johnson did score it.
Oh, it went down as an own goal. Or
No,
deflection.
they changed it. They changed it to a Johnson
Really?
goal. Yeah, it wasn't an own goal. I mean, it was a shit goal. Yeah, but you probably watched it like most of us. Like, oh, I can't be asked. Do you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
the one day I wanted Man United to do something.
Literally the one time in my life I've ever wanted Man United. No, actually, no, that's not true. I wanted them to win the Winners' Cup in 1990. I think it was 90. Well, that's not my fault. Will there ever be a movie quiz as explosive as Quisenheimer on the Goonie? Quisenheimer's brilliant. I like it. Let's really build it up. And then there are some players that are absolute pants. Mr. Sterling. I know, Melina, I know you're a huge fan of Raheem the Dream.
Yeah, I felt like we didn't give him enough momentum on the ball. We didn't give him enough, food in the morning breakfast, not enough nutrients.
If the only thing that would explain his performances if we'd locked him in the trunk of a car.
Oh,
that's the worst loan signing ever.
Ever, yeah.
Is there a worse one?
No, on a loan?
I mean, he's so bad. So bad. Quizzard of Oz, I like that as well. Risky quizness, license to chill.
I mean, he put no effort whatsoever. That's what pissed me off the most. When you're called upon, you do all this hype up in the transfer video saying you want to.
Oh, yeah. I never want to see another transfer video.
Makes my blood boil. All of this, I'm coming back better and stronger.
No, don't. You're killing me. I just don't ever want to see another transfer video. Like, that doesn't, just do it on the pitch and shut up.
Just keep it going on the pitch. Do the talking on the pitch. Exactly.
You don't. Yeah, this is what made me angry with Rashford, because he was like, no one. He did the whole interview, and I was like, Marcus Rashford, your job is to go and play football, right? You want to talk. No one cares what you have to say. You talk on the pitch. You have the chance to show us that you care about Man United on the pitch. If you're going to go out drinking the night before training and then not turn up for training, you don't get to say, no one gets to question my commitment. It's like, no. We are. Last time, this is an interesting one. I don't actually know what happened. Last time we finished 3 second places in a row, Dan, you know what happened, mate? We won the double, no? 2002?
Yep.
I think it needs to be a double now,
If we win the double, you guys, I already have heart problems. I think I would pass out if we won the double.
I would. You'd be fine. You'd be fine.
Oh, wow.
You know what? What was the game this season that made your heart go the most? Because I don't think there were. I mean, one of the things, my heart was probably going more in other games. I don't think there was a suspenseful game for me. I don't.
No, I guess PSG, the second leg, I would say that, because I was I really anticipated we would turn up. And I didn't expect
I don't think we didn't. I don't think we played very badly in the second game. I just think we just didn't get the rubber. I mean, the first 20 minutes, I was so pleased with it.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back. There have been games. It probably was in Europe. Real Madrid, because we all remember that we beat Real Madrid 3-0.
Yeah.
But that's not how it was really. Yes, we beat them 3-0. Declan Rice, turns out he's good at strike. Oh, we have some annoying fans there. When everyone's like, well, why hasn't he been taking free kicks? It's like, you can't just enjoy something. You have to enjoy it through the prism of everything is shit. But no, I don't know. I think this season has been utterly forgettable, and I want us all to discuss. I am going to do the video, and then we'll do a discussion. I'll do a discussion after on Thursday, and hopefully you all watch it. And don't forget to click like if you do watch it. It always makes me laugh.
We were talking about worst Arsenal signings. Can I just chip in with Christopher Ware, who
no, you can't.
Everyone thought was George Ware's cousin?
No, that's not. No. No, George
Why?
Ware's cousin was signed by Graham Souness at Southampton, and it was a fraud. Christopher Ray won us the league in 1997-98. A brilliant player. Can't say enough good things about him.
Okay.
So yeah. Don't want to shut you down, but I did feel like that needed saying. No, the player that Christopher Ray, I think, was a distant cousin of, but the Graham Souness one, where he brought the player sight unseen, never trained with him or anything, because he was related to Christopher Ray, put him on the pitch for a game and then subbed him in about 15 minutes and was like, yeah, he had an off day. Sterling needs to be put in the back of a lorry and dropped off in Scotland. Harsh. Is Sterling
dropped off in Scotland to play for Rangers next, Rosie?
Kim Källström was injured.
Yeah, back injury.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can compare him. And Sterling wasn't injured; he was just shit.
Yeah, we can't even use the injury excuse on him.
Dennis Suarez's loan was bad, but it wasn't as bad as Raheem Sterling. Yeah, Kim Källström was a broken back. PSG is a heart race game. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, actually, you know what? The first game against PSG, disappointing as it was to see them score. Kim Källström. Oh, good. I was worried I made that up in my brain. Brain's still fine. Deck's free kicks, Gabby's header at Spurs, Trossard's goal against Spurs at home. Oh, that was a good game when Heung-min Son put Spurs 1-0 up, and then we were 2-1 up at half time.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
1-0 down, 2-1 up, Dudar. Ali Dia. Yeah, that's the one. That's him. That's the Southampton. Oh, Sonogo I quite liked. He won
the
Youth Cup Euros, came to us. I don't know what went wrong for him. Andre Santos, yeah. I think it's spelled Andre with a Y, isn't it? Right, that's plenty. You, Miss Melina. Southampton played Leeds because, of course, it was. Was it? Is that who it was? I didn't know that. So, didn't you win that game then? I had a chicken Alfredo and spicy curry like sauce, and it was mighty tasty.
Good.
Does it?
Sounds delicious.
It's just a butter chicken. Well, why has it got to be an Alfredo? I don't understand. Well, it's like confusion. I don't like it.
Fusion blend.
Just have one thing or the other thing. Yeah. But so we're going to do a forensic study of the season. There is something. Wait till you see what could have been, because one change might have made all the difference. Sonogo had real potential as a footballer, was just always injured, so Wenger would never play him. What do you expect out of 29 next year? I expect 14 goals, 8 assists. I'm putting my neck on the line there. 29 is going to have a decent season, not spectacular. Gyökeres or Šeško? Melina.
Let's go again.
I don't know. I think all the intelligent people are saying Šeško. You know that.
Are you calling me intelligent? That's too kind. I didn't pay you enough.
You're right. You're right. I'm taking it back. All intelligent people and Miss Melina are saying Šeško. Guilty. Is there any chance you could be a judge one day? Is there any pathway to that?
You have to be appointed by the Prime Minister, so you have to know people higher up to get there, and you need to be a prosecution lawyer, or you can be defense, but you need to be a lawyer for over 7 years at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like the next week or two. I wasn't, you know.
It's possible, but you need to know a lot higher up connections, and I don't know anyone.
You'll be surprised because you'll get there and they'll watch your channel and they'll be going, "Oh, you do the watch alongs." Right, you're a shoe-in.
If I become a judge, I don't think I would be allowed to have the channel.
No, I was just going to say that would be weird, wouldn't it? If you're like, "Oh, I
Even
got
at
sent
work,
down by-"
I don't tell a lot of people. Just I know I don't say anything conflicting or controversial. It's just sports, but
You know
you
what?
never know why.
I've always regretted telling people. I haven't so much this time round, but it's just like if you ever feel like you don't want to go into work and you're going to tell people you're sick, and then you're still doing a live stream on a
Yeah.
Tuesday night, it's like shit.
Yeah. You know how many times I've taken the day off to watch a Champions League game because of the time difference? And like this season, you know, Real Madrid at home, Real Madrid away. And if I tell people, they're going to see me online.
Yeah. Also, I think it's really one of the best bits of advice I ever got was don't tell friends and family about your YouTube because they'll all support. Because everyone used to do this. They used to come up and go, "I've subscribed to your channel." I was like, "Please don't." You know, like it doesn't mean anything to subscribe. People go, "I've subscribed." Like I don't get money for either watch the channel or don't watch the channel. It's there for people who want to watch it. If you subscribed and don't watch it, it tells the algorithm that you're a shit channel. You know, but people always do that. So I just don't tell anyone. My brother subscribes, thank God.
But the thing is, like, these people will subscribe, right? But it doesn't mean anything if they don't watch your video.
That's what I'm saying. It's the worst thing you can have. You can have like 10,000 subscribers and 4 people watch your video. It's like, I tell you what, don't subscribe, don't click like, just watch it all the way through. That's much better. It's a much kinder thing to do. But I get so many, my sister, people like, I'll go, I'll subscribe. And you go, why? You're never going to watch me.
You're not going to watch me, yeah.
Why would you subscribe to a channel you don't like? I do think it's funny on YouTube how mean people are with the like button.
Oh,
I do just think like it's free, guys. Just fucking go smashy. It's all good. But I don't ask for likes and I don't ask for subscriptions, and I'm always grateful when you get them. But it ain't about that anymore. Sonogo was utterly useless. 8 goals from Havertz at best. I will do a friendly bet. Come up with a forfeit. I will do it. Havertz is getting 14 goals next season, possibly more. I could see him having 10, 15, 20 goals next season.
He had 9 this season. And he was the top goal scorer.
And he was injured for 3 months.
Yeah, and he was
so frustrating. At the exact point that Saka got injured, it looked like he was going to break the assist record.
Then I think it was Salah, right? Both.
Yeah. Salah got he joined most. What about Mitoma's getting goal of the season, which surprised me, but I was pleasantly surprised. And also the people linking us to Mitoma.
I thought Bayern was linked to Mitoma.
Yeah, but we're in for him as well, apparently. I'm now, you'll be pleased to hear, because I've done transfer window. I did last season, I didn't do it too seriously. The season before I did it really seriously, I had the transfer window news show. And it was exciting. We had Declan Rice and it was all people to talk about. Last year was shit. And I just got fed up. And it got to the lowest point was that car salesman talking about selling a car to a German player who's definitely moving to. Do you not remember? Oh, come on. You remember there was all about which is the mystery German who's coming to Arsenal?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, the mystery German.
Sarni, right?
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be. I actually went to, this is how I looked up the cars the players had driven.
Oh my God.
Because he was supposed to have had this particular type of Lambo, and I looked it up and it was just nonsense. I really wanted it to be Joshua Kimmich. I would have settled for Leroy Sané. I ended up looking up where Leroy Sané's kids lived. He'd split up with his wife, all of this shit. What do we end up with? Mikel Merino and Calafiori.
Yeah.
That's not enough. It was never enough. Well, we made the best of it with a last-minute Raheem the Dream. We have Raheem the Dream. He does the video. He's unveiled. I still like him. I do still like Raheem Sterling. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I just think, it's such a shame it didn't work out.
Someone tell me who was dreaming about that signing because they bloody need to
Nobody.
wake the hell up.
Edu signed it in his sleep. It's one of those ones where you have a few too many drinks, souvlaki's, and you go to bed and you wake up and someone goes, "Oh, you were crazy last
What
night."
the hell did I do last night?
Yeah, what did I do? What did I do? You don't you remember? Oh, it was brilliant. It was 2:00 in the morning. You were on the phone. You were doing deals. You had a bottle of ouzo in one hand. You were like phone in the other hand. I said, who the fuck did I sign? Ah, mate, it's the best deal ever. Raheem Sterling. Oh, shit. I might as well quit. Arteta will never speak to me again. I left City to get away from this prick. What are you doing? I believe Leeds won a comfortable 2-0 game, and Dan is right. Dia was subbed on and then subbed off after displaying the way of footballing ability, like expecting legal advice from a lawyer's brother. Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? It's so true. It's like, oh, my cousin's a plumber. I'll come and look at your pipes. Have you passed the bar? Never passes. She never passes the bar.
Yes.
Yes, I work in prosecution.
I'm too short to pass the bar.
Pass the bar, drop in, say hi. Miss Molina is a serious person.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Damn, it's going to be Judge Molina for a few years' time. That would be nice, Nathan. We'll need to spend well. Judge on jury, blah, 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 blah. Bayern want Mitoma. That's correct. They do.
Tom.
Let's have a look. I'll tell you exactly where these sources are coming from because I now am compiling a list. What I've decided to do for this transfer window is every time there's a story, I'm linking the publication. So I can start saying how many times they're right and how many times they're wrong.
Oh, that's good.
Because I'm sick to the back teeth of... Here's the ones I'm sick to the back teeth of. Calcio Mercato, bullshit. Ojogo, bullshit. El Chiriquinto, bullshit. Foot Mercato, bullshit.
I don't know any of these.
Fichajes. These are the sources. So Calcio Mercato literally translates as transfer market.
Oh.
And all they write about is transfers. Fichajes literally translates as transfer market. And all they write about is transfers. They write every stupid rumor goes in there and you have to read it. My favorite stupid rumor at the moment, I'm rating them in terms of what is stupid. Although Il Chiguinto did break the story about we are seriously looking to sign Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. And Xavi Simons, according to Sun Sport, is very much on our radar as well, which I wish was true, but I just don't think it is true. There haven't been any really wild rumors yet, but I'm taking names this time round, and it just gets to the point where I think if I hear Fichajes have said someone's coming, I know they're not. That's how you know they're definitely not. We need Mitoma. No, we don't. Bayern don't need Mitoma. No, they definitely don't. And Rosie, Fan Dabby Rosie. Sorry, guys, I'm tapping out, falling asleep. Take care. See everyone soon. Thursday and then Sunday for the quiz. Be good to each other is a brilliant way of leaving. Thank you, Rosie. You're an absolute angel. See you, Rosie. Thanks, Rosie. Everyone loves Rosie. I reckon you'll spend fairly big on a promoted side. Fan base is there. Stadium, I believe, is expanding too. Leeds have the fan base for the Premier League. I hope they stay up, actually, Mr. Tom, not just for you. A proper football pedigree, proper football team. Sunderland can fuck off. I'm not angry with Sterling for coming to Arsenal. I'm angry with the management that thought they could get some juice out of Sterling. Yeah, I'm angry that it was such a last minute, last gasp, this'll do. You know, it's like sending someone out to get a present for your mum and they come back with flowers they bought at a petrol station. Actually, no, it's not even flowers from a petrol station. It's flowers they walked past a cemetery, you know? That's what it is. It's like, well, you know, she'll never know. And you're like, she's
gonna know.
She's gonna know. That could be my new catchphrase. Sterling must have been a dare. Sterling was lazy.
Who said that? That's funny.
Lone Star. Sterling must have been. You know what it is? It's one of those ones where even Edu was like, well, yeah, last minute we did it. What harm? It's like, you just have a... When they said, don't worry, Edu's left, but Jason Nato has been working on all the same transfers as him. So come January, it won't make any difference. And you go, Jason Nato is leaving. I didn't even mention that.
He already left, right? Because they posted on The Athletic that he left.
Leaving. I don't know what the difference is. Like it's
not like it made him impact anyway. Good riddance.
No, but he was really popular. They wanted to keep him.
Yeah. They wanted to give him the job that Berta had.
I'm glad they went for Berta because I think you have to, at some point, you can say, well, you know, This is Mobbos saying, did we give Sterling enough time in games? No, we didn't. But whenever we did give him any time at all, it looked like a complete waste of everybody's time.
But to give someone enough games, and this is like what Dan says, you can't just guarantee someone's name on the, the sheet, the team sheet. You have to prove yourself in training. And what the hell have we seen whenever he's gotten the game time? Whether it be in the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, or in the Champions League in the last 20 minutes of a game. He's done.
Did he have a single good performance for us?
No.
I'm trying to think. Wasn't it? Didn't he score in the League Cup? I really like Raheem Sterling for what he's done, for his career, for his achievements. I like him, but my God, he was shit for us. And that's all there is to it. 2 assists, 17 appearances.
That's not good.
He played 509 minutes. So it's not a lot. I get it, but in those 509 minutes, I mean, he did not have a good game for us. He never had a good game for us. You've got to have a good game. Like, you can't. I'm just looking through it now. Arguably, the game against PSV with 2 assists, where in the second leg at home, where it didn't really matter anymore. Yeah, that's probably his best performance for us. But that is it. It's a game. It doesn't matter. I could play in that. If you're 7-1 up in the first leg. Sheshko, Mitoba, Zubi, Mendo, Hato. No one's talked about him for a while. And Simmons, that's a window we need. Wow, what a window that would be. I wouldn't go Mitoma. I would if I could swap Mitoma out for Ademola Lookman.
Wow, I would love Ademola Lookman. Well, we're not even looking at him.
No, we are.
Is that our issue, or?
No, we are still looking at him. He's there's a lot of. With Lookman, it feels like there's a lot of teams circling and no one's prepared to make the first move. I think he's everybody's second choice. I bet it's a bit like the draft picks, where if there's obviously Havertz is out of the picture now, but Nico Williams is the big left winger that everybody wants, right? I don't know why. He's not my cup of tea, but what do I know? But after Nico Williams, there's obviously Rodrigo, who everyone wants, but Rodrigo's going to wait to talk to Xavi Alonso to see if he's staying at Real Madrid, and I think that makes sense. And he's quite expensive. Rodrigo would be perfect for me. I would go Sheshko, Rodrigo, Zubamendi, Hato definitely, and Simmons, and that would be my perfect window. And a goalkeeper, of course, and a left back. And another left back, and another left back, and just left backs all the way down. Too much time. He said we don't need Mitoma. I watch a lot of Mitoma. Definitely don't feel like we need Mitoma. I tell you why we don't need Mitoma. End product. Mitoma's fun to watch, and he loves taking on his player. But in terms of assists and goals, it's not there. I find him infuriating at Brighton. He had a few injuries last year as well, which obviously didn't help. But what can I say? Last year he scored 3 goals, 5 assists. This year it's 11 goals, 4 assists. But maybe he'd do significantly, but I don't know. This is not my 3,000 minutes. It's every 300 minutes a goal, every 240 minutes or something, it's a goal contribution. No, it's like, don't get me wrong, I like him. He's fun, but he's overperformed this season. And if we're looking at 28-year-olds, do you really expect to get another 3 years out of him? So no, I don't want Mitoma. If Arteta can't trust Sterling after what he's seen in training, it's clear for all that the players it seems to be clear that Sterling's past it. He looks like he's washed, as the young people say. But I'm not qualified to say that. All I can say is that I wouldn't play him on the strength of what I've seen. Father Time's undefeated. It wouldn't, but then, we thought that about Willian. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes somewhere else and does really well. Sometimes team chemistry.
Well, the only goal he scored was against Bolton, wasn't it, in the League Cup?
Is that what it was?
He scored the 4th goal in a 5-1 win.
Thank God he was here.
Uh.
It's one of them, isn't it? It's like there's goals and then there's like, oh, well done. You know, like he 2 assists in a 2-2 draw with PSV in the second leg after we won 7-1. That's amazing. Thanks. Just trying to look. Yeah, so he scored his only goal was against Bolton. So maybe he could. I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, if he could play through the middle, I think he'd probably extend his career. I don't know. He was always a great finisher. He was always in the right place at the right time, but not for us. Nobody will look, man. I would only humour swapping Matoma on that list with Williams. I don't really get the hype around Williams. I think if you just watch Spain, you love Williams. I'm glad we didn't go for Cunha. Red Eye, if you're watching, and I know you are, and how we miss having you in the chats, but
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's good.
I've not seen him in a while.
He has commented. He's like, you know, foundational member of always a place in my heart for the regulars. And nothing keeps you more regular than celery. So get yourself some celery. Proud sponsors of the Guna channel. Ears. If you've got tiny little ears, get yourself some celery. That always helps. He's gone to bed ages ago. I don't know why I'm bothering. And on that note, I think we should all make our plans to retire now. Thank you so much. What's that?
Sunday stream, quiz night.
Yeah, Sunday is quiz night. What was I still like the Texas Brainsaw Massacre. I think we'll call it that. Spinach and broccoli too. Well said. Eat my spinach.
Are you uploading the pre-recorded video on Sunday or before that?
I'm aiming for Thursday, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's a scripted one. So
I'm not rushing you. I'm just excited to watch it.
It's a really forensic look at the season. So it's a real like game by game, but with 10 games that stood out as the problem. This is where the problem happened. And obviously there's discussion around whether we should have had a striker or not. There's discussion around where, you know, like I do want to touch on the injuries. And I also, you know, because just looking at the injury list, it is such an 11-player injury list. You know, Man City are missing Rodri, and look what it did to their season. I'm not saying that if we'll never know, would we? But Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel Marino, Odegaard, Tierney, Saka, Jesus, Havertz, Martinelli, and Nwaneri were all out for over a month. That had an impact. It did have an impact. Whether it's the full impact, wait and see. I don't think it is. Spoiler alert. But I do think that we do have to look at it, because the very boring conversation that is going to have to be had over and over again, people will keep having it, is it time for Arteta to go? And I think we need to do everything we can to not be having that conversation next season.
Yes.
You hand somebody the team, you give, you know, he's built this team. You let him it's like if he's built the race car, you let him race it one last race, you know, and 3 second place in a row followed by a double, that'd do it. I have my doubts as to whether if he did it, whether anyone would give him the credit he deserves, or whether a lot of the Arteta outs would suddenly turn. I don't know. Talk for another time. But on Thursday, before the Adams Arms opens, I will hopefully have released the video, and we can all hopefully have seen it and discuss it. And thank you to all of those of you who do watch those videos. And for those of you that have I was really surprised how well the musical tribute to the women has done.
Yeah.
That
was very creative. I liked it.
I just wanted to, you know, I just like that hook was the thing that got me. Leave it to the women. I was like, I just thought that was like, you know, that's it. Leave it to the women was the whole point of doing it, and then it became something else. And then, of course, I had to put a video together, and I was up very late at night doing it, and then it got copyright strike because you can't even show. Fucking UEFA won't even let you show people parading a cup. You know, like everything is so monotone. 3 copyright stops on that one, and I had to redo it every time. So there's a massive chunk of it missing. If you watch it, you'll see this. The third time around, I just went trim segment done. This will be fun. Sometimes I just miss a pie and a pint. Lone Star, man. You can always have I know what you mean. A pie and a pint. Brilliant. Yes. When you think about the fact you have got like Texan barbecue and fucking Tex-Mex food. You have got great food out there. I can't wait to go to Texas once in my life. When you think about the fact we've got last 4 of Champions League without a recognised striker, it is incredible. We got to the semi-finals of 2 cups and came second in the league without a player scoring more than 9 goals for the first time in 105 years. Can you imagine that? Not one of our players in double digits, and we still came second in the league. Semi-finals of the League Cup, semi-finals of the Champions League.
I thought it was 101 years.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
It was 1923-24 the last time we did that.
Yeah, so you're doing maths now, and you shouldn't really do that. It's one. It's after 1. Don't make me do mathematicals. What he said, it's that many years. 105 and 101 is the same, basically.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on, and for Gary earlier, and for all of you. Brilliant comments in the comment section. We will see you on Thursday. Until I see you then, be lucky. Lots of love.
Bye.
Red Eye Gooner, this one's for you.